Welcome back to Kind of Funny's MCU in Review. That's right. We are ranking and reviewing every single movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is back to where it all began. So many weeks ago.
This is where it started. This is where In Review.
Kind of Funny's In Review.
Some would say it was his best. After Captain Marvel, it really went off a cliff. Is what
Yeah,
a lot of people say.
it evolved.
Mission
And it's just
Impossible
better now.
They're just like, oh man,
Really
the guy's so old, he's got to take notes on the recap, right? He doesn't have
people say,
recap
wow,
juice
man.
like you, Greg.
Not the recap juice.
Alan, thank you so much for sending me more of your Battle Bus beer brew, whatever.
I'm Tim Gettys. This is Andy Cortez. That is Kevin Coelho. That's Greg Miller making his return.
I'm back,
to In
baby!
Review.
Just like Captain Marvel. Pew, pew.
And
I got a
Nick
stone in
Scarpino
me.
rounded out the crew.
Just
as
like
per
Captain Marvel.
usual.
I got a stone
Just like
in
Captain
me.
Marvel. I got a stone in me.
Oh, this
Like
stuff's
a
good.
kidney stone?
Brew bust
No,
from Al.
he
No,
means
remember,
like
her
a-
powers come from there. You wouldn't remember because you are a fake comic movie fan. In fact, you all are. Again, I made it clear when
How
I
do you
left.
already smell
When I-
that much like beer?
When I left this show, I said I would never ever watch those Mission Impossible movies because they ruined the Justice League. And you all sat here getting paid off by Big Mission Impossible. I don't know who makes Mission Impossible. Big Mission Impossible. And you all sat there and you ignored it. You ignored it.
Well, I didn't want to bring it. I didn't
Embarrassment.
want to fucking rub salt in the wound.
I
'cause
thought
that
you
movie's
said that the
garbage.
mustache was really good and like
You
fit
really liked
really
the
well,
mustache.
right?
You said it, and I
Didn't
quote,
you?
it looked really cool.
Yeah, I love
Kenny,
the
no, he looks
mustache.
great with the mustache. He just
Yeah.
ruined Justice League. We all need to admit
Right.
that.
Yeah.
No one-
Yeah.
If it weren't for that one element.
If it weren't for that, ladies and gentlemen,
Really?
like I said, this is Kind of Funny's MCU in Review. You can get this show in review every Tuesday, 11 a.m. on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We do it live, where we do a bunch of different movies. After this one, next week we're doing MCU in review, where we're all going to give our own personal lists, kind of reflecting back on the MCU at large, and then we'll announce what we're doing after that. For the next couple of in-review franchises. You can watch the show later on youtube.com/kindoffunny or on roosterteeth.com or listen to it as a podcast. Just search for Kind of Funny Reviews on your podcast service of choice. If you want to be part of the show, you can support us on patreon.com/kindoffunny, just like Patreon producer David Meintel did. You also get the show ad-free, which is real cool. Real cool. You're going to want to do that. Today we're talking about Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, we are.
It all led to this. Released on April 26th,
Fucking let down.
2019. Directed by Anthony and Joe Russo, a.k.a.
The homies.
Russo brothers.
Oh, sorry.
I'm the homies. A fucking budget of $356 million.
Is that right?
Let's see how much it made over the weekend.
Is that right?
And a box office thus far
Yeah.
of $1.223 billion.
With a B.
That's
Yeah.
right. With
Billion.
It got
with
so
a B.
Sunday morning, they could put this out because the tickets were pre-sold for the whole day. They're like, we already know the answer
Yeah.
of how much it sells.
Yeah.
All of them.
It
It's
was
fucking all of them.
So
So
to put that in context, though, like when an entire movie's done with its theatrical run and then goes to video and all of that gets added up, they're happy when it breaks $1 billion. Like, remember the metric for like Justice League when it came out was like, oh, it didn't break $1 billion, and everyone was like worried about that.
Thanks,
This
Mission
did it
Impossible.
in a fucking weekend. And I saw one reviewer who was like, to put this in context, this destroyed what the expectation could possibly be for an opening weekend so much. It's as if we were all trying to get to the moon and then someone figured out how to quickly just get to Mars. That's what it's like.
The projections
It's
were
ridiculous.
850K to 900K. So yeah,
Chump change.
this
I mean,
is-
they had started even lower than that. 600 million is
or
what
they
we
just
were
kept pushing,
originally
kept pushing.
talking about.
Just for what was physically possible.
Wait, 850 million, you mean, not K. Right?
Did I say K?
Yeah.
Million.
Yeah. 850K. Yeah.
But I mean, what was
That's
like the closest opening weekend beyond, with like close to that was like 650 or something like that, right?
This thing shattering
It
records
destroyed.
left and right. There's the questions now are where is this going to end, and we don't know. It's going to be
Well,
hard to predict
can
that.
it
Hard to
be-
see.
Will people rewatch it?
How many times have we all seen
hold
it?
on.
I've seen
sorry.
it twice now.
I only saw it
Twice.
once.
Coward.
But no, here's the problem.
Twice.
Twice for me.
Just once for me.
Okay, coward.
Twice for me.
Do you plan to see it again?
Oh my god,
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, definitely. I don't have. Let me back up. I don't
I
have any
didn't
plans to
expect
see
you
it
guys
again,
to
but
be
I'd like to
so-
go see it again in the theater.
Barry,
Yeah.
can I get a paper towel?
Yeah.
Did he just fucking call him Barry? You gotta get off this
I said
Barry
Barry.
shit. Okay.
It sounded
cool.
like Barry.
Barry's great there.
I heard.
Yeah, so the
heard a
I'm
soft tea.
shocked that
It's
you guys
beret.
are so down to see it again.
you
I
not?
mean, so here's the thing. I went to see it again on Sunday, and like 15 minutes before, I was like, fuck, should I flake? I don't know if I want to go through this again. And then I went and I saw it again, and it was like, holy shit, I'm really happy I'm here. I was planning on leaving early so I can watch Game of Thrones. I stayed the whole time.
The whole
Nice,
time.
good job.
Oh, I enjoyed it
Okay.
more the second
Yeah.
time.
I did too.
The whole first half
Yeah.
that I thought I was going to be like, this is not that rewatchable.
Draggy.
Totally was rewatchable, man.
Yep.
It, like, I really
So
feel like
good.
when you know what's happening, you can focus a bit more on how it makes sense, and it's a special.
I mean,
thing,
our
man.
audience was great on opening night, right? So it was another thing of being able to hear all the lines of dialogue. Like I think Joey mentioned it when she was talking to somebody else, not me, because I don't talk to her. But she had mentioned like she missed on your left the first time. I did too. I was texting with a friend after the show about what I thought of
thought you
it.
meant during the movie.
and he was like,
What friend?
Sean Norton, you know. He's been around a long time. I'm marrying him next year. No big deal. Or
Whoa.
this year.
cool.
And it was but it
Yeah,
was
a lot
like
of people.
that. We're going back and forth, and I was naming my moments, right, and he was naming his, and I was like, I totally missed that. I could
yeah.
fill in where it
That was
was, but
awesome.
I did not hear it in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely need to rewatch it. I want to go probably Dolby again, if not IMAX 2D.
You should check it out. IMAX 3D, man. It's
I was during the Gemini Man trailer when that first played, and also the Fast and Furious ones.
Sure.
I'm the type where if I'm too close, my eye I have to like squint a lot, and it was losing a lot of the action. It was kind of like, and I was like, oh, I hope the movies are like that. Luckily, it got better as the movie went on.
That was my fear too. I don't like being as close as we were. Not that it was terrible or anything, but I felt like I was doing the same thing. But trailers are cut so much differently than movies
Yeah.
that when we were in the movie, I was fine.
Yeah, definitely got
I
better.
had great
I
scenes.
recommend everyone watch it in IMAX. I was saying this earlier on whatever show we were doing, but it is such an experience, and it is the way that this movie.
My question is,
should be
can I
seen.
see it in IMAX but not in 3D, or do I have to see it in IMAX?
Yeah, no.
3D?
There's actually more 2D showings in IMAX than 3D, which is very surprising because that's a rarity these days.
Sure.
But it's 2D IMAX at Metreon. Highly recommend it. Get a seat as far back as possible in the middle.
I
and then
I
you're gonna have a good
tried
time.
buying tickets before we were doing this review.
Sure.
But it's just like everything available was like
Yeah.
front right corner, front left corner. Like
It's going to
But
be
like-
that way for a
Yeah.
while.
The weird thing
probably.
is, like, we watched it on the like top left corner of IMAX, and it still looked
It's
fantastic.
still great. IMAX matters
IMAX
more
is
about
so
being
big.
back as opposed to being centered. But
agree.
a runtime of 3 hours and 2 minutes
Flies by.
flies by.
Legitimate.
Even the second time
Yeah, me
flew
too.
by, and I was just like, man, I want to watch it again.
Yeah.
So cool, such a special moment, and I feel like it is my not fear, but my review of it leaving the first time. I was like, I think Infinity War is more rewatchable than this movie is, and like that's the one credit I'll give that over this. And now I'm like, no, man, it's real rewatchable because it's like all the scenes with Tony and Cap in the beginning. It's like that was so unexpected, and there's so much nuance to the dialogue that's happening with them and what it means for these characters over the course of all these movies. Beautiful shit. Beautiful shit. Let's get right into it. Plot.
whoa.
Yeah.
I don't like that look at all, Greg.
Plot.
Everybody! Hey, everybody. We open in Dubuque, Iowa. I have no idea where, but it's in the middle of nowhere place where Hawkeye has been exiled. He's got his little anchor bracelet on. He's there with his daughter, his 2 weird kids, and his weird wife are over there making a picnic.
Play the Cardellini, bro.
Mayonnaise and hot dogs.
Yeah, that's
right
strange.
there, right?
Good little moment.
Am I wrong? Weird. That's a weird thing to put on it. And he blamed the kids and the wife.
Kind of glad they got snapped away.
Yeah, maybe this should get
Right?
snapped.
Right. They had it coming. They had it coming.
Fucking
You know what I
weird
mean?
Euros.
So over there, we're teaching Hawkeye's daughter there how to shoot arrows. Pew, pew, pew. And he's like, this is fun, right?
Those are
He's
the
like, do
sound
this.
effects.
And he's like, dude, pew, pew. She hits
I don't
the-
have confirmation of this, but I couldn't find anything that disproves it. But I heard that the daughter is
Britney
Joe
Spears.
Russo's daughter.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's neat.
Because Joe Russo's in this,
Yeah,
right?
he's in the circle,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, he's in the circle of trust there with Cap. Anyways, we'll get to that later. Don't get ahead of yourself, boys.
Rattlesnake. We got Rattlesnake Greg Miller. That's right.
I guess what? Yeah, Hawkeye goes. They do the hot dog thing. He goes to get the arrow. Turns around. The daughter's gone. He's like, "What? Hawkeye daughter, whose name Greg doesn't remember. Where'd you go, Hawkeye daughter?" And he's like, "What?" Huh? And then he goes, "Hawkeye wife and Hawkeye boys, where are you?" And they're gone too.
Where's the Hawk family?
We see the ashes in the air, so we fucking know. But
Yeah.
Hawkeye, stupid
Hawk
idiot.
Falcon, Hawk Pigeon. Where?
I'm Hawkeye.
did he
I
not
don't
watch
know.
Infinity War?
I'm
What
a
the fuck?
moron. I don't know. I shoot arrows real good.
Fucking
Beauty
moron.
Budapest. It's the only story I have. And he's like, what? And he does this cool little zigzag run because he doesn't know what to do. It's like when Portillo loses his toy. It's great. He's like, oh, I'm as stupid as a wiener dog. And he's looking around and bong out. We know what happened. Let's cut to the next scene. You know what I mean? And what is it? It's Tony Stark and Nebula playing the football, the football game we all played as kids.
paper football. Yeah,
Is this the first time we got a scene before the Marvel Studios logo in the MCU?
I don't know.
No, I think Black Panther has a story like.
Or they're in San Francisco. Or
No.
Was that
I think
before
That's the end, isn't it?
No,
you're right. I'm
it's-
sorry. I haven't seen Black Panther.
Black Panther has like the story of the dad telling the son about Wakanda, and then I think it goes to the Marvel
got
Studios.
it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Rewatching it the second time is when I noticed this, but all the Snap characters are gone from the Marvel Studios
So they do
logo.
something special.
Yeah.
Because I know the
But it
first time
doesn't
around we
feel
were
special.
like, that's kind of a weak.
And again, watching it, I was like, oh man, like it feels very underwhelming.
I was hoping to see
the end credits
like
are so good.
I wish they would have just redone the Stan Lee one from Captain Marvel.
I just wanted some more hype music. I wanted something that was like, this is special. It kind of just felt like it's
subdued.
that's how this movie opens, right?
Yeah, on second viewing, like I did agree with you the first time, but on second viewing, I kind of liked that it was a little more subdued. It
Yeah,
felt like
I did too.
felt like an ending. Like that song gave the tone of
Somber.
like, yeah, I like.
I'm with Barrett on this one. It didn't stand out to me as like as needing more. I was like, oh, I see where we're going with this. This is really depressing and sad. Let's get into
Leftovers,
it.
dude. Good show.
So we're up there. We're playing the paper football. He's trying to connect with Nebula. Right? You won. Congratulations. Fair play. Shakes her hand. It's all very cute. They're of course
Skinny
up
as
on,
fuck.
exactly. They're up on the Benatar up there, the new Milano ship. And then he does the message we all know from the trailer. Starts recording it for Pepper Potts. There. You know what I mean? Don't be sad. This is the end. Blah blah blah. I'm okay. Whatever. Drift off. Think of you kind of thing. And yeah, he is emaciated.
Yeah, they did the effect, the Matt Damon effect, like the Benjamin Button effect, where he was like super skinny. Which at first I was like, something's weird,
Brad
and I'm like,
Pitt,
oh
right?
wow, and it was really sold well.
In the Milano scene, I feel like it seemed a lot less obvious than when we finally get to Earth. Because I feel like
I was watching it and it was like, is he not? I can't tell. But when he gets to Earth, they totally
on the
play
Milano.
out.
I was like, oh, maybe
Again, we're on
Downey
the
Jr.
started starving.
Maybe he dropped like 15 pounds or something. But
Yeah,
then
wrong
when we got
80s
to Earth,
person.
it was like, wow, it looks like he's half of his
Right.
normal weight.
Yeah.
Because we get there and he leaves a message for Pepper. He passes a sweet message, of course. We already knew that coming in. Worse that he's like all frail now. He passed out there on the floor. Nebula puts him in his little crib. She also shared her food with him, right? Because how much food does Nebula even eat? We don't know. You know what I mean?
we do know she eats though.
Yeah. Sure, she wanted to eat. Remember, she was hungry.
part
She ate the
organic.
thing that wasn't ripe. I know, but how much food does she need?
It's not ripe yet.
You know what I mean?
1 millijoule.
Also, yeah. How much did you? Are you still on the Nebula hate train, Andy? Thanks, Dad.
I got a DM from Rudio, kind of my best friend.
Oh, I thought that was the person who played Nebula.
And he DM'd me and was like,
Karen
he
Gillan.
was
Back
like,
the fuck off.
he was like, it was such a Nebula heavy movie. How did you feel?
Yeah.
And I felt like it's become such a meme at this point for me, where it's like Christian Bale in Dark Knight, like that voice is like such a meme to me now.
Yeah.
Where it's like everything sounds like this, it's like whatever. Like I've gotten over
love
it.
her. Love her.
Yeah, she was very enjoyable.
I thought it was fine.
I thought it was fine too.
Yeah. I wasn't as annoyed with it here as I
Okay,
have been
cool.
in prior episodes. or prior
So
movies.
she puts Tony in the chair. Looks like all hope is lost until the light starts glowing. And guess what? It's Captain Marvel. Yay! How'd she find him? We don't know. Doesn't matter. Yay!
A lot of people
Like,
are
a
saying,
key
oh,
thing-
probably Rocket
Had a
knows how to
tracker
find
on the ship or something.
Yeah.
A key thing to point out is that the scene from Captain Marvel wasn't in this movie.
Yeah.
Yay!
She's just straight up there.
Did you like that or not like it?
I thought it was fine. Her saving him, not my favorite part of her.
So I liked
whole
it. Let's
bit.
not do in two bits here. I liked that they didn't put the Captain Marvel scene in there. I did see people on Reddit threads confused by that. Like, that didn't even happen. I'm like, no,
Captain
it
Marvel
happened.
scene. What are we talking about?
At the end of Captain, well, you went to the bathroom at the end of Captain Marvel like an idiot. But there's
Did I?
an after credit scene after there where they set off
They're
the
paging
pager.
her, and he's like, do it again.
And they're
pager goes
bickering
off.
about it, and she's in the room.
Right. Got it.
Yeah, but then back to it. Yeah, I thought it was too easy. It was too easy. I felt for her to come save him because we had said that. And I remember when we said it, I was like, it's too on the nose. It won't just be that she flies up and saves him.
But I was
I
fine
will-
with it just
Same.
because it got things moving.
Yep.
Sure.
I will say the Captain Marvel parts of this movie are not my favorite parts. Like I still feel, and this might be an unfair bias for me, but I still feel like a lot of these things where she shows up to do whatever she does,
Too easy.
Still too easy. Doesn't
She's
feel
the Deus Ex
earned.
Machina.
I mean, we've only seen her in
really
one
powerful.
other movie in this, and she's very, very overpowered. And so I kind of her saving him. I'm like. I just wish it was anyone else, like any other character that he had some level of a relationship with.
Still, though,
but
I know
it
we're
was
jumping
fine.
way ahead, though, right? Super dope when she has Thanos and he grabs the stone out and then fucking punches her. I was like, that's
pretty dope.
That's
That's
pretty
fun.
dope.
I loved her in the movie.
Yeah.
Besides her saving was the only thing I had any issues with.
My only
Otherwise,
issue with it was I
liked
just thought it was too easy. But again, I'm
Yeah.
with you of like, cool, we're done. Let's move on. We don't
Yeah.
need to beat our heads over this. So yeah, we cut back to Earth.
Did not expect to be this early in the movie Tony's back. We're going.
Yeah.
And it required that to be quick for that to happen.
Steve Rogers has shaved off his beard. He is still Captain America, though. Don't worry. The beard was not the source of his power.
I never worried.
Oh, shit.
I never freeze.
I never worried.
freeze.
Yeah, okay. And then
So
the
good,
mirror starts
Eddie.
rattling, and they all go outside, and it's Captain Marvel, and she brings it down, and Tony's there, and Tony comes out, and Captain America greets him, and he's like, I couldn't save the kid, or I lost the kid, and he's like, we all lost. And then he starts to ask what you assume the next question would be, where's Pepper? Pepper runs up, she's alive. Yay! Everybody's alive.
Yay.
We cut back inside, Tony in the wheelchair with the IV. He's not
Talking
doing
a
so
lot of
hot.
shit.
Yeah.
Mad.
Well, yeah, they eventually, they get to it of like they're talking about everything, and then Tony fucking loses it, right? This is his chance to finally unload on Cap. Not only just in general how mad he is with the Cap in this situation, but now the fact that they were shattered when this happened, right? And if they would have been a united front, and he wanted to put the suit of armor around the world, right? Great callbacks, like you're saying,
So
to all
good.
the movies that have come before,
Lovely.
what Iron Man's been trying to build forever.
Starts off sort of where Tony Stark is kind of delivering kind of witty snark,
normal
comebacks,
Tony.
whatever.
Yeah.
And
Then it gets
you're
hard.
kind of laughing, and you're like, right? And then it starts to get real, and you're like, he's really like, this is really bad. Like
Yeah,
he's
good,
in a bad space right
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's hard to see somebody that we've looked up to and somebody that we love and adore in this state. It was like hard.
Yeah.
And it ends with him literally collapsing. I loved it. I thought this
Yeah.
whole scene was very
Beautiful.
unexpected,
Yeah.
and
Raw.
it was
raw.
it was raw, and it was the most powerful way you can show them coming back together. That's not just some weird like, hey, we got to unite now. It's all good. It's like there was real weight behind all the decisions that they'd made previously.
Great dunk on Rocket too, where when Rocket starts talking, he's like, "I thought you were a Build-A-Bear." No, but this is exactly what I thought you were a Build-A-Bear. That was funny. So then Tony's over there in his little hospital bed with what I'm pretty sure when you rewatch, and I mean I've only seen it twice, or whatever, but it looks like Mark Ruffalo got comped into these scenes. Something to keep on your third or fourth viewing. Check it out. And he does not look like he's in the room with them in the hospital room, nor when they come in and have their big conversation. Doesn't matter.
I'll
though.
take a
Who the hell
look.
cares?
You mean
know,
as,
I'll take a look on
as
that.
he's Hulk?
No, I mean when
No.
he's Mark Ruffalo.
Right, because he's Mark
Banner.
Ruffalo in the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The Buffalo.
So they're over there. Like, Tony needs rest. And he's all fucked up, and then we have a conversation. It's like, well, we don't even know where he'd be going or whatever. And then it's like, yeah, we do. And Nebula's like, well, every time he fucking tortured me, he's talked about where he'd retire to the garden. And they're like, we got this cosmic ray thing that just went off over here. We know where. We never seen anything like this except for when it happened on Earth. And she's like, yeah, that's where he's going. That planet.
So that was weird.
Yeah.
Because it's weird. It's like, I know where he's going. It's like, well, we need this thing to tell us where, though. Like,
It's double confirmation.
You know the idea.
Double confirmation.
But we really need this thing.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
double confirmation.
Well, it
She
just
knew.
makes sense. It just makes sense.
It all lined up. All the evidence lined
I
up.
did feel like that was like unnecessary. Like you
It's like,
don't
shut up,
need
Nebula.
both. Yeah, exactly. Either Nebula, but like, why is Rocket sitting here being like, well, it pulsed this thing, so.
Well, I thought
was confirmation.
hers was not necessarily confirmation. It was just set up for what his motivations were for being on that planet.
Thanks, Cap.
Where she was like, "Hey, just in case you didn't
Don't
know, he's
fucking
retiring
talk
to
this
this
way
planet.
about it.
He always said he would do this once he finished his thing. So that's why he's on this planet. So the audience knows. Oh, he's not just
Superfluous. He's on the planet. We figured out.
He's eating
We also get the
pineapples.
conversation here too with where the fuck's Captain Marvel been, right? And there's a lot of planets. And Cap
I
just
do-
nods.
I do like that.
Captain America just nods, right?
Sort of like reasoning for it. You
We
know.
found him. Let's go fuck his shit up. We hate him. We hate Thanos. Yay. Everybody gets in the fucking plane and they go, it's a spaceship. But yay. And then we have the little line where Rocket's like, who's never been in space before? And it's Black Widow, Cap, and War Machine all raise their hand. He's like, don't puke. And you're like, ha ha.
But this is where we get the Endgame title screen.
Cool.
And again, it was underwhelming. Like I watching it the second time, I was like, ugh. Because it builds up. You hear the Avengers music playing, and then Captain America says, "Let's get this son of a bitch." And there's nothing more hype than that. And then
And
it
him
comes to
saying a bad
Avengers,
word.
and like Endgame turns,
Like,
which
so
is like,
awesome.
and then they're in the plane.
They're in their spaceship. They come out there. They get there, and we immediately jump cut right out there. Well, they use the jump thing, which is cool, of course. Then we get there. Captain Marvel goes down for recon. She comes back up. Like nothing, no satellites, no people, just him. And like, all right, we're gonna fuck this dude's life up. And then we cut down there, and Thanos is all like hobbling around, picking up weird fruits and putting them in his little basket. And then we got to look at him. And guess
I don't know
what?
if you can eat that.
He's all fucking burned up, right? The gauntlet's all fucked up. His face is all fucked up. His arms all fucked up. Like, oh my god, Thanos, this sucks.
His arm looks like you could just kind of like, pah.
Yeah, exactly.
kinda-
Yeah,
brittle.
Very
Yeah.
brittle.
Yeah,
Overcooked.
exactly.
Like the edge of a
Jerky a
cookie.
little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And then he goes back in his little hut and he's like, "What's that?" And everybody just starts attacking him, and everybody's there, and they're grabbing his hands, they're grabbing his arms. Fucking Ruffalo Hulkbuster comes out of the ground and grabs him. And they're all holding him and like yeah. And then Thor comes in, just chops his arm off right away. And it's like, oh
So
fuck him,
good.
Jesus! And he's like, oh, I'm Thanos. You cut off my arm. I don't like that one bit. And they're like, where? And they pick it over, and there's no stones on the thing. Like, oh no. And he's like, where are the stones? And he's like, they're reduced to atoms. I snapped them. They were just temptation. I've done everything I needed to do. Now they're gone or whatever. And they're like, you're a fucking liar. And then Nebula's like, there's one thing my father is. It's not a liar. How's that?
There's one thing my father is. It's not a liar.
Thank you, daughter.
Thanks,
Maybe
Dad.
you did. But his head gets chopped off by Thor. And like, what? And the blood splatters all over Nebula.
Holy
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
What a way to
What did you
start
do?
this
And he's
off.
like, I aimed for the head, and the whole theater cheers every time because they fucking love it.
It's amazing.
Fuck this guy.
Then
So good.
cuts to black.
Yeah. Well, Nebula shuts his eyes, which I like.
All right,
and she's covered in blood too. Because again, complicated relationship. You know what I mean? Stockholm syndrome. We all know.
Yeah,
it. We've all
abuser,
been there.
abusee.
Exactly. Yeah. Then we cut to black, and we get the 5 years later.
I don't
and
like
if
that.
your experience is
I don't
like
like
if your experience is like
man.
mine, you hear Kevin go.
Yeah.
Guys, I was excited. We thought that this would happen, but in the first 15 minutes of this movie, they did all that. Holy shit.
Yeah, I thought one of the
Blown
things that
away.
was really, really cool was this movie was not about chasing the stones now. They were gone.
Yeah.
So they set that up, and you're like, oh, shit. This is going to be a lot more complicated and complex than I had originally intended. I'm with Andy, though. I didn't need the 5
I
years
just wish it was
later.
5 years
Would have been
later.
nice if it just fitted
Yeah.
in 5 years.
Oh,
'cause
like,
I was
that's just a small nitpick.
I like
loved
the
it.
input because, again, opening night wise and not knowing it was coming, Kevin had that reaction, but the theater in general did have a
gasp.
there was a deep sigh of like, oh my god, they really.
I
are
felt like
fun.
it was the Russo brothers being like, check this out.
Yeah, they were that.
100%.
Because it could have been 5
Years.
days later,
Yeah.
5 months later.
Later.
5 years is a substantial
Real
amount of
shit.
time, and
Yeah.
it's like, and you even see immediately, it's like, wow, the world is
Yeah,
really
we pan
changed.
in on New York, right? And there's a whole bunch of ships in the harbor. City Field is overgrown. Nobody's using it and stuff. There's cars parked everywhere.
Yeah, which at
What would
first I was
happen?
like, oh, didn't they have 5 years to clean this out? But then I thought, oh wait, yeah, half the people on
Where's
the
any of
planet
the
are
shit gonna
gone.
go, right? Yeah.
So half the cars on the planet would just be sitting there. You know how fucking long that would take you to
Yeah.
move?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there would just be derelict neighborhoods that we see, obviously, when, later in the film,
Sucks
you just see
Major League
shit that's
Baseball
like
couldn't get
ghost
it together
towns.
though.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
damn,
You
the
think
damn
they would
Mets.
have enough, right?
I mean, they have enough trouble trying to make the game entertaining as it is now, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
to speed up the game, right?
Seems like
Shot
this would be
clock
like
on
this would be
there.
like something to unify everybody, get the spirits
Right?
up. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
It'd be like a big
Everybody
deal.
play baseball now.
Exactly. Yeah, play. It'd be out there. Whoever
Yeah.
the Secretary of Agriculture, who's now the president's like, play ball. We're big at it. You know what I mean? Some other D-list
Secretary
Marvel
of
hero. I'm just assuming those
It's
other
Keeper-
people
it's
got
Keeper
snapped.
Sutherland
They got
from, like,
snapped so far out.
Designated Survivor.
Actually, we see Basketball Boy out there. Left field. Plays left field.
Blinking doing that. And we come in on again another, I think, infamous shot before this movie even came out of Cap and the support group, right? Talking, they're gone, where do we go, kind of thing. And we're all talking about it. And yeah, it was one of the Russo brothers, Joe, who was there talking about the date he went on last night and how the guy he was dating, or the first guy he went on the date with, cried. When the salads came, he cried when dessert came, and it is this conversation about how fucked up all this is
Good
to be here.
performance.
Great performance, all right, yeah.
I'm always really hesitant about stuff like that. Whenever it's a friend of the directors or the writers, or it's like
The
the actual
directors
directors, I'm
themselves,
like,
yeah.
all right,
Greg
let's see what kind of
Grunberg.
chops he got. Like, if you're gonna come on screen and kind of not be great, then I don't know if that's a good decision.
But he crushed it.
They did great, yeah.
Cap sits there and he's like, good job, at least you made the first step, you're moving forward.
And that's why I
Yeah.
went to go pee
Oh, really?
and got
Someone-
faked out by the fake restroom. Fake
Yeah,
exit.
you did. You did the same thing. So, like 3 other people tried
Yeah.
to. We're like, all right, cool. I know that I came in from the door behind me, so I'll go towards the screen. into the back left corner.
The theaters have that all the time.
They
Theaters
don't.
have different exits and shit.
They
you
do-
never
they do have
yeah,
it all the time.
Every theater has a back door that you leave and don't
Emergency,
get back
exit,
into.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you
dumb.
could leave. There's I get what he's
Only
saying.
IMAX
I
is
just thought
having
it
you
was
go in
funny.
a different
I
way.
know
than
I
you
came
can.
in the other way, but I'm like, oh, this one's closer, so I don't have to go all the way around. Let me just go. Nope. Came back or whatever.
Only way I would have respected the decision is if you just peed in the back corner. It was
And then
dark enough.
I saw John Drake
Squats and lift his leg.
and then I saw John Drake get up to walk up, and I leaned over and Joey was like, "Nope, wrong exit."
Yeah.
And then sure enough, because right, me and Joey just started laughing.
It's a little disappointing.
Yeah, it's not. You're just all weirdos.
No, man.
So support group, yeah, that's great. Cap's like, great, you're all moving on. We shall move on. Yay, Thanos. And then it's like, cool. And then we cut over to the Avengers facility. It's overgrown now. And Scarlet Black
Johansson.
Flag, Scarlett Johansson. That's what always gets me every time we do
Me
this.
too, Greg.
The Black Widow is there, and she's got both blonde and red hair because she's just let herself go. 5 years, and she's just so overworked
Just-
now, running what we're gonna call Avengers Shield.
She only trusted one hairstylist.
Sure.
That's
Snaps.
true.
Snap.
She's talking to Rocket and Nebula and Captain
Machine.
Marvel and War
War
Machine,
Machine.
and Black Panther's guard, whose name I can never remember.
Okoye.
Michonne. Sorry?
Okoye.
Thank you very much. And they're like, cool, this is what's going on. Check in, shoo, blah, 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 blah.
We
And
got
then,
our first hints at the future of the MCU. A lot of hints at Namor, Namor.
Oh, really?
Don't know how
No
you
one
want
knows how to pronounce it.
Earthquake in the water
I
or
think it's
whatever.
like
We
too
handle
deep
it by
into
not handling it.
Guarantee, and the fact that rewatching it because I was like looking for it, guarantee that it's going to be a setup for Black Panther 2.
And you think that's where Namor will be?
I think he's going to be
Yeah.
a villain in Black
There was
Panther 2.
that like tweet out that the director of Black Panther didn't he put out a picture of
never-
Namor out
Did not see
and then
that.
immediately
Kugler?
take it down?
The Kooks.
There you go.
I think so.
No,
It's
it
happening.
was a different director, but I remember that, Kev. That I forget which director it was, but it wasn't Ryan Coogler that posted a picture of Namor, and
The chat will tell us.
It's Namor, right?
I always thought it was Namor, but
Yeah.
it could be
I
a
always
Thanos.
thought
Of course, this is like
Thanos,
a
I don't know.
Thanos.
We get the hairstyle from Captain Marvel.
Yeah. The haircut.
Yeah.
Love it.
I don't like it.
Oh, I
love it.
I don't like it either.
I-
Too
I-
much
I-
business.
Yeah. I want a huge
Too
fan
much
of it.
business.
You know what I mean?
Party
Like
the
she's
front,
not
business
having
the
any
back?
fun.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
She's not fun.
But
Whatever.
her outfit with the little she's got like
Little
a little
sash.
sash
Yeah.
that
Dope.
looks like it's evolving into the black and gold
No, I missed all that.
outfit, and it's cool.
It is cool.
See the progress.
Still, it's cool to see them all talking and doing this. And for 5 years, they've been this weird Avengers Shield thing, right? Where
Yeah.
they're all doing different stuff. But I digress. Everybody signs off, and then
Which, again, to cut you off real quick, talking about future of MCU, speculation, Black Widow. Like, what's her movie? Is her movie going to be kind of during this time frame where she's leading this thing semi?
No, I
I don't think so. I think it'll be
It's
pretty
an
cool.
We got a Red Room movie.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
think so.
I don't want that.
Starting. Anyways, though, yeah. So at the end, Michonne, who's like, what's the character's name?
Okoye.
Okoye.
Okoye. Yeah.
Okoye.
Like Dave
Okoye.
Coulier.
No.
Okay, good call.
Yeah,
Thank
exactly
you very much.
like
I'm
that,
sorry.
yeah, Full
Black
House.
Panther's Dave Coulier turns to Rhodey and goes, "Good luck," and she signs off, and it's just Rhodey there. And then Black Widow starts to almost break down, and then she sees Rhodey there, and he's just like, "Listen, man, there's this room full of dead bodies over here. It was clearly Hawkeye, who's now Ronin, but we're just gonna keep it's Clint, everybody." And this is I think she says it's Barton or he says it's Barton, and that's when Jen's like, "Who's Barton?" I'm like, "It's Hawkeye." She's like, "Oh, thanks." All right, and it was like,
The moron.
yeah, he's Portillo. That's him. He's this guy in that universe. And
There's going to be viewers of this that are like, why are they calling him a moron? But it's just an old callback to another
staring at
episode.
a wall. Yeah, you need to go talk to him. And she's like, I don't know. She doesn't say much of anything. And then he leaves. And then she starts crying. She's got a peanut butter sandwich. And then Captain America walks in.
Best performance she's given in this whole franchise.
Sure.
This scene.
I don't think she's been bad, but
I think she's been questionable.
Okay.
But this scene,
You mean like the
yeah,
scenes with
disagree.
the Hulk where she's like,
yeah, I adore
Building
you,
a
but I need the
relationship?
other guy. Or what about when she was in the chair and she beat the shit out of that guy on the phone? That was awesome.
remember she broke the
Action
chair?
scenes.
I think they're just
first.
giving her a lot more to do in
That's
these
fair
scenes.
too.
Yeah.
Also
Yeah,
true.
I think there's
100%.
like we have not really seen a scene where she has to actually have real human emotion. Every
Sure.
time we see that,
She's
it's
usually
just-
very
she's
cut off,
usually
right?
faking it to get like information out of Loki or something like that. So this is a great scene where Cap sits down. and
Cap
they start
shows
having
up,
a
almost tries to
conversation.
give her the silver lining bullshit because he saw some whales, and she's like, "I'll fucking throw this peanut butter sandwich at your head if you keep talking." And like, haha, and they do a little bit more, and then wait, hold on.
Well, we get the line from
Are they
the,
shooting arrows again? Bloop.
We get the line from the trailer, right, where he's like, "I keep telling people to move on, but not us.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
we don't
yeah.
move on, right?" And and this is when they're like, "Should we just give up and have a life, right?" But then this is where Ant-Man shows up.
Yeah,
So
this is
we've-
where I missed a whole bunch of stuff and nobody saw me. So put a pin in that one. Let's jump backwards. We're out there and we're at a storage unit in San Francisco.
Great.
And there's a rat walking across it, which is, I love that this is how it works. Because if anybody follows us on Twitter, they saw me and Gary have an argument on text that Gary then put out publicly where he's like, "How are they going to get Ant-Man out of the quantum realm?" And I'm like, "I think they'll do this." And he's like, "No, that's bad." I'm like, "How would you do it, Hollywood?" He's like, "I don't know, some kids come along and find him." And I was like, "That's stupid. It's even worse. A rat walks across the fucking
Hits
dashboard.
the green button.
Hits the button. Ant-Man
gets
gets
shit
shot out.
out.
The Russo brothers always love to put community
Community
references
people,
in there,
yeah.
right? And community people.
Ken Jeong.
Ken Jeong is there as the king. He sees Scott need help. He lets him out, and you see him walk away. And then he's
I was
walking.
going
You
pee
see
during
him-
all this.
You see him, Scott, like with the help sign.
Yeah.
And then we don't see what happens. We see Ken Jeong walking about, but just doing that awesome security guard thing where they don't really want to engage, but they're still kind of following
He's back
you a
there,
little
like,
bit.
don't fuck with
like,
it.
kind
Yeah.
of just walking you out, but I also don't want to get into a physical altercation
Yeah.
with you. It's fucking great.
And so
Well
then
done.
Scott's. Oh, sorry, go on.
Interesting that he didn't put his suit on and like just turn small and like leave.
Well, he knows he doesn't have that many pim particles.
But I mean, at this point, does he know that anyone's?
I know.
Yeah,
I think he's
yeah,
just
yeah.
discombobulated and knows that he can fuck up a
Something's
security
happening,
guard
yeah,
if he
yeah.
has to.
And so yeah, then he's just walking through the streets of San Francisco now. He's walking through a neighborhood. The neighborhood's all overgrown. There's all these posters up.
Hey
Some
kid,
rolls
what
by.
year is it?
What happened? The kid glares at him and rides away. First off, fuck you. The people in San Francisco are nicer than that.
Hey, maybe
You know,
that kid likes his parents, dude.
No,
5
they're
years
not.
later, that kid would be like, "Hey, you know what? We've all been through a lot. You know, Barrett, you're too young to remember 9/11. We were helping each other in the streets. for
Yeah.
years afterwards.
True.
Talking to
If
each
I was
other.
this kid riding my bike, I would probably do what the kid did. If actually, I would just ignore him, just keep driving.
I wouldn't even glare at him. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
you're right.
He asked. I
wouldn't
don't get me
glare.
wrong. It's been 5 years. Hey, what happened? What, are you as dumb
you
as
on
that?
drugs?
Are you as dumb as that Arrow Man I keep seeing on the news killing everybody? But I would be like, anyways, though, he keeps walking around. He eventually stumbles into the Presidio. All right, and it doesn't seem like, it doesn't matter. San Francisco geography doesn't matter. Stumbles in the Presidio. They've got all these things for the Vanish there, and Scott starts freaking out, wondering if Cassie, right, is over there. And he's running around seeing names. And then he sees his name on it. He's like, oh no. And then he stopped. He stopped at some other names. They didn't like do crash gyms on him.
I didn't notice anybody of
cool. Just
relevance.
I didn't know if it was his
which
friends.
is weird. And a little Easter egg: the creator of Thanos and the whole Infinity idea was part of the group,
Nice.
the support group.
Nice.
Jim Starling, I think.
Then he sees Cassie isn't there, but he sees himself there. So then he runs back to the old house or whatever. Cassie's old house, his old house, I'm not sure, whatever. Knocks on the door. She comes out. She's old. They have a touching scene.
Oh my god!
United, right?
I love this. This was like tearjerker moment number one. I thought they did it so well because I believe in their relationship so much. I was talking about it a couple weeks ago when I rewatched Ant-Man and the Wasp again. I'm like, man, they're so good. Cassie and his relationship is so good, and seeing this was super great, and it also gave this show a shout out.
Incredibly touching up until he goes, "You got so big," and we all think of Kevin calling her a big kid.
Yeah, big kid.
My worry was that
And
she
our
was gonna
entire
get
row cracked up.
older much faster than the show, the movies were going to be there.
Well,
but
we
no,
nailed
they
that.
figured
We
it out.
figured that
Big
one
kid.
out.
You big one of them big kids.
Big kid.
So yeah, then now let's jump all the way back. Cap, Black Widow, they have their conversation. Then the doorbell rings and it's Ant-Man out front.
She's
Scott.
like, is that old? He's like, elevate. Is that old feed? No, it's the front door.
Yeah, because they all thought he was gone. We had already seen them looking through stuff, seeing that they had established that he was gone.
A ton of people gone in that thing when they were like showing.
Oh,
it,
sure,
he was
yeah,
gone.
yeah.
Cool moment of Nick Fury, and you see Captain Marvel be like, "Ah, shit."
Yeah.
And Eric Selvig was there too.
Yep.
His only appearance in the whole movie.
Yeah. So he comes in and he starts ranting about the quantum realm. He was in there. What if we could actually pinpoint when we want to come out of the quantum realm?
Eats half of Scarlett Johansson's
Then
sandwich.
he's like, "Yeah, whose sandwich is that? I'm starving." Goes,
Have any of
"Very
y'all
funny."
studied quantum physics? I like that.
Yeah. You're talking about a time machine? No. Yeah, I'm talking about a time machine.
Why
right?
was he so hungry?
He burns calories being Ant-Man and traveling across.
Oh, he was
the
stuck in there for
universe.
5 hours.
Yeah, but like
Well,
that,
this is
that was
this
yeah,
is days
got it
later,
many
right?
days
San
later,
Francisco
right?
to upstate New York, right? Or Connecticut.
Maybe
It's
he hadn't
Connecticut.
eaten.
How did he get there?
Planes.
Planes are still happening. No, planes are still happening.
Baseball's not happening.
Hey man, I'm telling you
Okay,
right now.
priority.
He did drive because his car's
van.
there.
He brought his van.
He also could have shrunk it down and put it in his pocket.
That's true.
He
Or
also-
became Giant Man. Took like
I
5
also
steps.
want to point out he might not have shrunk down in the lockup because it showed like his. Suit
Oh, it all
kind of
shorted
fucked
out. It
up.
all
Yeah,
shorted
yeah,
out.
yeah,
Great
yeah.
point. Lest we forget. Guess what? We're gonna do this. It sounds like it could work. We'll do anything. We're desperate. We're Cap and Widow. Let's do it. But we need a brain. We need Tony Stark. We cut over to Tony Stark's cabin. He comes out of his little cabin there in the woods on the lake. And guess what? He's got a daughter. She's wearing the Pepper Potts helmet.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's all whoa.
Which I
Everything's whoa.
feel like they needed to kind of show the full suit for me because I saw the helmet, but I just thought, oh, there's a toy, some sort of weird toy helmet that she's wearing. Like, why would it fit her perfectly? I didn't grasp. He has a line where he's like, it's your mom's present, but your mom never likes anything I make her. But I didn't put 2 and 2 together that he was making her an Iron Man suit.
Oh, really?
And
It's
then
a
at
pretty
the- and then at
famous
the-
suit, right?
yeah.
I've seen it a ton of times.
But
That's a
then
comic thing.
At the end, when we see her in it, I was like, who the fuck is that? Because I
love
didn't
it.
recognize Gwyneth Paltrow without her blonde hair.
It's a weird
It was
shot, and
very,
if you
very
don't
weird.
know, it is hard to tell because her hair really makes her character.
Yeah.
So just seeing this much of her face,
I
if
was
you're
like-
not looking for it and not expecting it, I
Yeah.
can see that being.
I was
confusing.
like, did his daughter come back from the
That's- I thought
future?
the
What the
same
fuck is
thing,
this?
yeah.
I don't know. It was weird. Small nitpicky thing. Anyway,
Love the daughter thing though, and that's why
Love
the
to see-
5 years really matters. It's
Yeah.
like you're allowed to have kids that are not just babies.
Yep.
You know, the
Exactly.
kid can have feelings and emotions, and
Well,
they did
also-
such a good job of setting up that like Tony is one of the lucky ones. He made it out.
His
he
life's
has a family. His
better,
life
arguably.
is better. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And that sets the stakes so perfectly. Where people always talk in these shows, movies, whatever, where it's like people need to die for stakes to matter. It's like this is a perfect example of
People need to live.
people need to live too. Love it.
but also a reason why they can't go back. I like the basic concept of this is we're not going to go back and reset the past. We are just going to bring everyone back right now.
Getting a call from New York, guys. You think it's them?
You think it's Ant-Man?
Stop calling.
Stop calling.
Stop calling me. Answer it and be mean and see if it totally blows up
No,
in
I'm
your face
doing
like
the
Nick.
screen call.
Don't do it.
I like
What's
doing
a screen call?
Google has this thing where you hit screen call and it says, "Hello, the person you're calling is."
Doesn't know who the hell you are.
Is that why
That's
every
cool.
time I call you, it goes to that?
Nice.
No.
That's awesome.
person you're calling
So we
doesn't wanna
get
talk to you.
there. Yeah, he's got a kid. She's got the mask. It's all very cute. The kid's real cute. He walks her in because she's going to eat some food because kids need to eat. And then he hears the car door and he looks over there and guess what, everybody?
need to
It's
eat.
Cap, it's Widow, it's Ant-Man.
They're all posing.
They sit down and they explain the whole thing, and Tony immediately isn't really having it. He's like, "What? Do you, this, that, and the other." And eventually, he's calling him on all their science bullshit, of course. But in that Ant-Man doesn't know anything. And then he's just like, "Well," and then Cap's like, "Well, come on now. It's because I understand you have a lot to lose or whatever." And he's like, "No, this is it. I've won." I forget the lines, but you understand what I'm saying here. And so like the kid comes out to save him. He's like, "You guys,
It's a cool tug of war. For
totally.
Sure. Yeah, I
you
love
guys,
it.
this whole scene's awesome.
Yeah.
And I got 90% of the movie still to go, so we just gotta keep on moving, But he's like, "You can stay for lunch if you don't talk shop," and they all get in the fucking car and they're like, "You can suck it, Tony Stark." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
definitely what they said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I really like it because it does put you as the audience and like you're torn. Because if you were Tony, I'd be like, I'm not doing shit. It's fine. Like Thanos is dead. There's no more threats. I got a daughter and a wife. I'm living good.
Why would I want to change
Why
it?
would I want to change it?
Yeah.
I don't want to risk dying.
So
or
they need
changing
a
the
big
shit.
brain. And where do they go, ladies and gentlemen?
The big brain
Memphis,
man.
Tennessee. I don't know where they were, but it's a diner and the Hulk's there. And that's right, the Hulk's there talking his banner. He's merged them all together. It's awesome. He's got all his eggs, all his sausage. It looks delicious. I'd love to
Kind
have
of
a bunch
a
them.
cocky bastard now.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
Hulk.
oh yeah, totally. He's taking
Yeah.
selfies. He's posing with the kids.
He's
Both
famous
worlds,
now.
dude. He's like Hannah Montana.
Great,
Exactly.
great point where the kids come up to him and they're like, can we get a picture? And he's like, you guys want a picture with me? And
I'm
like, who are
Ant-Man.
you? He's like,
I'm Ant-Man.
oh, they want. Oh, see, he wants you guys to take a picture with him. And
Went on a
like,
bit
just
too
give me
long.
the goddamn phone.
I liked it. It just went on a bit too long.
One of my favorite Reddit comments was that scene lasted way too long and I didn't mind it. And I felt the same way. Where
It was
like
funny.
it went
Just take
on.
the goddamn
It
phone.
was a
Just take the
long ass
goddamn
bit, but ending with "take the goddamn
Yeah.
phone" is like there's such a great little cap to it.
And so yeah, all right, they're trying to convince Banner to do it. He's like, "This isn't my area of expertise, but I'll do it."
I mean, key reveal of this. It's Professor Hulk.
yeah.
How did it happen? Oh,
18 months in the lab. He says 18 months in the
Maybe-
Gamma lab.
maybe we'll get
the
that.
brains and the brawn.
In
I'm
the- in
totally
the,
fine with this though. I like how they handled it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I feel like any showing the process of what happened would have been some corny ass shit. I love it just happened, guys.
Dude, and
Deal
that's
with it.
like I think I might have said this for Infinity War, but the greatest compliment I can pay this as a lifelong comic book fan is that this movie is such a comic book. And you're watching it with audiences that are like us. I went back to Chicago and watched with my cousins who don't only know the movies and have kids and stuff. They got it. They understand. Everybody just accepts what this
Yeah.
is.
So
and
cool.
nobody's like, wait, well, what about the lot? To go from where we were with Iron Man, right, to all the way now where we are here, where it's like, cool, whatever. Yeah.
Tons of leaps and
Professor
we
launches.
Hulk,
now
yeah.
have the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse. Like, that's where we're at, and people get it.
Yeah, you and I at some point have to get a beer and you have to explain all the timelines. Because when we were leaving, you started explaining it to me. I was like, I thought I had a grasp on this. I don't have a grasp on this.
I don't like
Watching
the
it again, I feel like I have an
conversation.
even better grasp on it.
Okay, good.
So,
I need some explanations eventually. But we know that's a show for a
show for
different time.
tone. Huh?
So
In a
yeah,
different timeline.
Yeah, exactly. They got Hulk. He's gonna help. Yay, we're gonna help. And he goes back to the Avengers lab with them. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. It's not until we get Tony that we then assemble the team, right?
Right.
Cool. So we're back at the lab, and it's like, let's do it. We've got some things ready. Tony gave us a little bit of information, but we understand this, and we're going to do it. And so they put Scott in front of the van, and they start fucking around, and he gets young, but not super young. And then he gets old, super old. Then he gets young baby Scott. Then he comes back as regular Scott, and they turn everything off.
I'm saying this
Do
on.
we have the scene though where Tony figures it out before this?
Yeah,
think
you're
so,
right.
but
You're
we'll
right.
talk
That's
about
where we
that
cut.
before. Yeah,
We'll just
yeah.
do it there now. Yeah. So we cut there, and yeah, sure enough, sure as shit, Tony is against his. He knows. He doesn't
shouldn't
want
do
to
it.
do this. He
But he
doesn't
has
want
to
to do
do
this,
it.
but he has to do it because if you have a problem and you're Tony Stark, you gotta solve it. And so sure enough, he's doing his little thing with his board there on Friday, and he's just like, "Do this, but it's gonna take you a while, so I'm gonna go." And then she's like, "You did it.
He's
You done.
hoping she does it,
It's
but he
over, right?"
also
He has
wants-
such a
yeah.
great line where he drops and goes, "Shit." You know what I mean? He just
As
solved
a
time
kid.
travel.
Little kid,
the
yeah.
kid's like shit,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they have the thing. He's like, "Your mom made up that word. That's her word. You can't use
Yeah.
it." He takes her to bed. I love
Freeze
you
pop.
3000. Oh
Yeah.
my
God,
god!
fucking
All of this
A.
was
So
so
good.
beautiful. But
And
then
we
it
have-
ends with him going
on the
down
couch.
and talking to Pepper.
Yeah.
And
who's reading about composting.
Yeah.
And I love it where he's just looking at the thing, not
what-
paying a goddamn
what's-
attention.
what's new with
with
composting?
composting?
She's like, "No, what do you mean?" He's like,
She's
"Okay,
like,
I
well,
figured
this
it
happened.
out."
He's like, I figured it out, by the way.
Yeah.
Time travel.
And I love it because he's like, I could just throw it away. I could just not do this. And she's like, and he's like, I could just go to bed. And he's like, you can go to bed, but you're not going to rest.
Would you be able to rest?
Yeah. it's
Yeah,
like,
which is
oh
such a great.
my
Yeah.
fucking God.
She gets
when
it.
they
She
bring
knows.
that back at the end,
Yeah.
it's just like,
Goddamn
So
heartbreaking.
good.
And that's
Yeah.
when we go to the Avengers facility.
That's
We
when we go
get
there,
a
yeah.
great fucking scene where he comes back as a baby and then an old man, and then he goes, I peed my pants, but I'm not sure which one of we did it. It might have been young me.
It was.
or old
I don't
me.
know if it was old me or young me or me.
or just me.
I was saying this on a screencast, but I feel like this was my least favorite scene in the whole movie
I agree.
because the joke's funny, but I just feel like it's not worth the amount of time
So
to get
long.
there. And the bigger problem is that it presents an idea that you can de-age people, and it's like, so
I
now
don't
they
like
have
it.
that. And especially when you get to the end of this movie, that seems like it could be a convenient plot point if they want it to be, and I just don't like
They're
that.
not going to do it though.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but it just
then
like
why introduce it then?
Yeah.
because
I like it because I think
I do
it's-
like when. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I think it's great because we get the payoff for that in the next scene where Tony
Yep.
pulls up in the dope ass fucking like electric
Captain
Audi.
America walks outside defeated, right, to look into the distance. Then we hear the engine rev, and we see it.
Way too
I wish
long,
it would have
just
been
kinda
fucking
scurries.
ACDC.
So
I
excited.
wish it
I
would have
love
been
it.
ACDC.
Me too.
But I love the payoff that it's so long, and then he goes past him.
Yeah,
and then
comes back and he's like,
reverses.
and then he immediately says like, "You turned him into a baby, didn't you?"
yeah,
And he's like, "How did you know?"
yeah.
And he's like, "Because you uncoupled him from time and not time from him or
Exactly.
whatever. You have to do this thing."
It's you. You push time through laying instead of laying through time.
Yeah,
I
I
love
like that because Tony figured it out when Banner couldn't. I forget where we go from there.
He then it explains to Cap
Gives
what
him the
his
shield
rules
back.
are, right? Of like, hey, I'm doing this, but I have to keep what I lost. I'm not going to go through this. And Cap's like, okay, they shake hands. Then he goes in, pulls out what looks to be a toy holder, dumps the toys. It's the shield, gives it back to Cap. It's an awesome scene of Cap putting it back
good.
on, right? Feels so good.
But I love this. I love Lang sitting outside, and the.
We're not there yet.
Oh, we're not there yet.
No,
Oh, got it.
That's another outside the Avengers facility, but we've already assembled the team at that
Oh,
point.
got it.
So instead, they go back inside. They talk about it a bit, and it's like, all right, Hulk says something pretty great of like, we got to get the team, right? We're getting the team, something to that effect, which then kicks off. We got to go get the other Avengers.
But first, oh yeah, you're right. Never mind.
Do we go to Tokyo next? What happens? Where do we? At some point
Yeah,
we go to
Tokyo.
Tokyo.
I think
New
Asgard's
Asgard.
first. Isn't I think it's New Asgard, then it's Tokyo.
Oh, fucking A.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
New
yeah.
Holy
Asgard in like
shit.
Nova Scotia,
so
wherever
what
it is.
happened is, Iron Man asks Cap, "We are getting a team, right?" And Cap says, "We're working on it." And then the next scene is Ant-Man eating the tacos.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, and it's
Rocket.
Nebula coming back in. She blows off the tacos. Then she hits up Rhodey like, Rhodey, be careful on re-entry. There's a moron in the landing zone. And he reacts to that, and then Hulk gives him the tacos as he's leaving to go out and find
Little
Thor.
fun
We missed.
Song.
I forget when we missed a great line from Scarlett Johansson where I think Scott's like, "I have a crazy idea,"
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
she
she's
goes,
like, "I get
emails
emails
from
from
a talking raccoon. Nothing's crazy for me anymore." Fucking great line.
Great. Yeah. So yeah, and it's off to New Asgard with a great song. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just remembering. Yeah, that scene was actually kind of important because that's Ant-Man going and being like, "Hey, we need to time travel."
Yeah.
And it's like it's not time travel.
Yeah, we mentioned the time machine throw. Yeah.
At
you're
what
right.
point do they start fucking talking mad shit about Back to the Future? Because fuck you, MCU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I were Universal,
I think after this 'cause they
I think
have
they get
Hawkeye.
everybody together, right?
Right,
Yeah, and
that's right.
Rhodey's there and stuff. He's like,
Oh my God. So we go
Hey,
over-
son, what? They go back and forth listing movies. I want to see this movie.
Die Hard.
Oh, no, that's not.
Anyways, yeah, we're getting it's Rocket and Hulk getting a ride into New Asgard, which looks to be in. Was it Nova
Alaska,
Scotia?
or
I thought it
I
was.
don't know.
Yeah, I
It's
thought
somewhere, somewhere.
Norway.
It's
That's what I
Norway,
thought.
yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, same spot where we had Odin die.
The Viking
Okay.
stuff,
Yeah,
right?
that
Yeah,
checks out.
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, Rocket makes a point of like, man, this sucks. Going from the golden ships and hammers to this, and Hulk's like, hey man, they lost everything except this. So I think they're pretty cool with it. We get out, Valkyrie's there. Hulk does the, and she's like, I liked you better either way. That's good. And then Thor is in a bad way. We find out because there's a bunch of kegs piled
Drinking
up.
a lot of beer.
And so we
Fucking
go
hell.
there. He won't see you. They open the door and go in there, and we find Fat Thor. So what a great reveal
Fat Thor's
of all
so
the
blessed.
of all the fucking
Bless
awesome hidden things that trailers didn't ruin.
God, how
like
did
how
they
great
not
was
ruin
this,
that?
Dude, the funniest thing, and
Shout
I was
out to
telling
them,
Kevin this, is about a year ago, right after Infinity War, there was a ton of leaked synopsises of the plot and all these like leaks that turned out to be total fucking bullshit. But one of the most infamous Reddit spoiler leak things that was like a joke was simply Fat Thor. And so it was a joke for the last year that anytime someone had a bullshit thing like, oh yeah, and Fat Thor shows up. And then when this happened, I was like, that guy was telling you the fucking truth? Like, you would have
God,
never
Fat
believed
Thor.
that. And God, it was good. And I will say, they played it up. He's comedic relief, like the entire movie. And in the screencast review, I was criticizing it a bit where I'm like, he was a little too funny, like throughout the whole thing. And like, I didn't like how long they drew it out. Rewatching it, I was just like, fuck. Knowing where it ends up, he is a lot more tragic of a character,
No,
and it's
see,
a lot more guilt-ridden.
That's
than,
what I like about it. He's totally using humor as like a band-aid for this fucking severe pain. Like even when he's describing how he killed Thanos, where he's like, "What are you talking about? I'm totally fine. I'm the one that killed Thanos. Remember? I cut his head right off." And it's just he's almost on the like verge of hysterics or tears.
Yeah.
You're like, this guy's deeply in pain, but. Holy fuck! They committed to Fat Thor in the entire movie.
Yeah,
and
thank
I
God.
love
I'm
it.
so happy.
I was wondering if when he did lightning, if he would go.
It was
back
gonna
to
get back
Fat
to
Thor.
Fat
I thought there'd be a training montage.
Yeah, something.
And then when that didn't happen, I was like, oh, maybe when he gets the hammer.
Yeah.
But no, they were just like at the very end. still Fat Thor. And it's just like, oh man, wow.
Well, I think it's, I mean, like behind the curtain, and maybe I'm totally wrong, but I feel like it's such a great way to keep Chris Hemsworth on longer than Evans in particular, not Robert for the same reasons. But like Thor was always the one I'd heard in previous
So hard
interviews
to
bitch
stay
about,
jacked.
of like, and I get understandably so, like, dude, it sucks eating 90 eggs and working out nonstop. So like now that they found like, oh, Thor should be funny. Just keep him fat, Thor. Who the fuck cares?
you think he's
So,
gonna stay Fat
I think
Thor?
he'll go.
not forever. I bet
yeah.
by the end of the next Guardians, he's in shape again. But I don't think I don't know if they're gonna cut him back to Greek god like and shirt off all the time.
Well, he's
status.
I mean, to be honest, and this is not a knock against Chris Hemsworth, but all of those guys were their first movie fucking huge,
Yeah.
and they've all slowly but surely gotten a little bit smaller. Even Chris Evans was not that big in this movie, but I mean, they're still, don't get me wrong, they're still very much in shape
Adonis.
and jacked. But if you see Chris Hemsworth, go back and look at Chris Hemsworth in that shot where they first make Captain America and they tilt
Oh,
him
yeah,
up,
yeah.
and his fucking arms are like watermelons.
do you
And then
feel?
look at him now; he's just a lot more. Like maybe he put on 15 pounds of muscle for this, but notice none of them got shirtless in this movie.
Yeah.
Except for Thor, which is hilarious. You gonna give it to me?
Is it a wig?
No.
Ah,
Were they
damn
born
it,
fucking
Andy, Get the
coward?
fuck out of here.
Were they born?
Science.
No.
Oh shit. Sorry.
I hate you.
Go
so
out on a
much.
strong
You do
note,
it
will you?
better.
Were they born in labs? Now it's time to rank those abs.
God bless him, because I wondered if he even worked out at all. Bro, do you even work out? That's what I would say to Chris Hemsworth.
He must have read the
every day
script
of
and
this
like,
thing.
oh I guess fuck, they came off the other one, so he couldn't have like.
Yeah, he was still
totally-
jacked at the beginning of this one, so he was still jacked. But again, good
Yeah,
for these
he's-
guys, and they're already established. They don't have to be gigantic fucking Hulk monsters.
I mean, he was wearing a fat suit, right?
Oh, fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, no way.
So, like,
There's no
labs,
fucking
then.
way he would have gotten like that fat for this. It would have been way too hard to come back for Guardians.
So as you said, he's a tragic character. He's there. He's clearly wrecked. He's living with Meek and
Korg.
Yes, the return.
Korg's playing
God, I love him
Fortnite,
so
which I
much.
liked. A lot of people are like, nah,
Yeah,
I
I
thought
like
it was
I
funny as hell.
thought they should have done Spider-Man on PS4.
No, it doesn't play into the joke they do, right? Where Thor picks it up and yells at Noob Master 69, who has now
Perfect
made that
name.
account. There's now that account out there. There's a screenshot of his bio is like, Thor ripped off my arms and shoved them up my butt, but I'm still here. And I don't know. I was
Love
like,
it.
that's funny.
I'm
So
so
good.
happy that Meek and
Thanks,
Korg
God
are
bless
back.
Meek.
Oh, yeah,
Korg.
totally.
Again,
He's like,
just-
you guys, and I forget what it is, but like, you guys aren't in a good place. And Thor's like, we're in a great place. And Meek and Korg are eating the pizza. And he's like, we're in a great
So good.
the new Master 69.
Yeah, so good. So good.
I did miss seeing Meek in his little knife outfit.
But yeah, so just to truncate all this, because we've already talked about it, yeah, Thor totally wrecked. And I do love the scene where, well, the scene, but when he does finally go, like, you know, we can go back and they say Thanos, and he grabs Hulk and he's like, don't ever say that name.
Yeah.
And like, you see Hulk slowly
Like,
but
take your hand
firmly
off
grab
me,
it and
buddy.
like, please take your hands off me. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Of
this
like,
ain't gonna go
you won't
well.
like me when you're angry kind of thing, but
Yeah.
like, don't, you're not gonna push me.
Let's not do this. yeah.
They go back and forth. Obviously, he's totally wrecked and doesn't want to do it. But they say they got beer on the ship. And what kind of beer?
What kind of beer?
He's on the ship.
Because he wants to go.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
he just
Then we'll
can't.
jump to Japan. Yeah. We have a whole bunch of Yakuza-looking guys. They're getting all fucked up and things are dead and all people
Love
are
the way this is shot.
First
I love
real
it.
action scene of the
Yeah,
movie, and we're
which
like
is so
40
great.
minutes in at this point.
Congrats to them, man. We've said it a million times, but the marketing for this movie was brilliant for not giving away too much. But also, like, I love that they made the choice to, like, let's not have hell action scenes. That's for the end. We're gonna get there. But I love the way that they did this. They shot it more like a kung fu movie,
Yeah,
or like
it was cool.
those old school things where like the camera just follows and you just hear a bunch of chaos, but you're not necessarily seeing it all.
Like that
Correct,
tilted
correct.
angle for
so
a bit.
so
yeah.
fucking cool.
I do, and maybe I'm wrong. You guys usually tell me when I am. I appreciated that. I thought this movie was more graphic with violence
Yeah.
when it needed
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah, yeah,
Thanos' head getting cut off. This fight where
was graphic.
he cuts the dude's like fucking thorax and he's like bleeding and talking to him. I was like, shit, this
Yeah.
doesn't
Thorax.
this doesn't feel like a Disney.
His thorax.
Sorry, everybody. I went to
Science.
biology class. All right.
I went to class.
That's like a
It's a
part of
bug's
an
neck.
Is it a wig? I don't know. Wigging out with Scarpino.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long time, but I'm happy to be back. I just want to give a quick shout out to the coolest fucking hair in any Marvel movie that belongs to Jeremy Renner. Holy shit. I saw him on the cover of a magazine again, and I was going in for a haircut on Saturday, and my wife was like, you should cut your hair like Jeremy Renner. So I was like, babe, in what fucking dimension would I ever look like that if I cut my hair like that? What a fucking dope haircut.
Dope haircut.
That's all.
It's
not a
very
wig, though,
divisive.
right?
A lot
Not
of
a
people
wig.
don't like it.
Oh, I think it's
Fuck those
awesome.
people.
I think
loved
it's
it.
not us.
Loved it.
Not us.
rad.
I think
love
it's
it.
a cool ass haircut. I just think it doesn't look good on someone that old.
Wow,
You're
that's
crazy.
awesome.
You're
He's a killer.
ageist.
Because
You're an
he,
ageist,
Andy, you're
bro.
almost that old.
if he
What
was
a hateful
if he
person.
was
That's
a
your
younger
haircut,
looking
Andy.
dude, I think his hair would look a lot cooler.
I think-
They're just like two forces fighting against each other.
Boo that man.
Boo,
Boo.
Everybody tweet Andy Boo. He'll understand.
But the guy that he kills is a comic character as well. I'm
really? I
not
didn't
too
know that.
familiar, but he is in the Yakuza. Like,
I really loved the dialogue. It was just quick in exchange here, right? Where he's just like, Thanos killed half of them, and half the people, and I'm here for the rest, or whatever, right? And then he says
If
something.
they got Thanos, you get me.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. And then it's the other one where he's like, all you do is spread death or whatever, right? And kill people. And the guy's like, really? Like, look around you, right? And then they fucking ice him. And then
I did see a really, really funny tweet that was like, of all the 14 million possibilities, like one of the possibilities of this ending had Jeremy Renner with his normal haircut, and I prefer that one.
I just thought this was fucking cool.
And I love too that we're looking at the back of him, they pan the camera out, and then we get far enough and you hear the rain go from being rain to being rain on an umbrella. And it's Black Widow, right? And you shouldn't have come here, you shouldn't be here. They talk and like, hey, he's like, don't do that, don't give me hope. And she's like, I wish I could have given it to you sooner. He's on the team. We're off to go out and do Avenger-y things.
That "Don't give me hope" line.
Yeah,
Really
right,
powerful. I think Jeremy Renner phenomenal job.
It's another
just
great, like,
executing
I
everything.
mean, thing. It's underspoken. I mean, it's understated, but you understand it. Obviously, the fact that he lost his family, and like that line that I totally botched, but Barrett was there for, right? Of like, they got Thanos, you get me, right? Like, cool, my family got snapped out of existence, so now I'm just gonna go fucking kill anybody that are bad people. Like, we're not gonna be the Avengers. I'm not gonna turn you in. I'm not even waiting for a contract. I'm just out to kill.
And this
everybody.
is the beginning of the two of their storyline in this movie, where eventually there's a sacrifice that has to be made. But like, that feels earned, and I buy it because their characters have flipped. He now has red in his ledger in the same way that she's had forever.
And they've done such a great job. I mean, I remember how that relationship in the original Avengers felt so much like, all right, the two Humies, right? And like, now we get here, and it is, even when they make the Budapest reference, right? Like, it's great. Anyways, everybody goes back there. I think that's everybody, right? Did I assemble the entire team? Did I miss
think
anybody?
so.
All right,
The
cool.
team is assembled, but before we find out what happens, I want to let you know that this episode's brought to you by Quip. It's time for spring cleaning. Quip's got an easy way to start with your brushing habits. Just 2 minutes twice a day can help pave the way to a healthier mouth and mind. And now the whole family can get refreshed with Quip. Why is that, Kev? The new Kids Quip has the same 2-minute timer and guiding pulses as our original version with no childish gimmicks, so they can brush just like a
I had no idea what
grown-up.
the answer was. I was like, oh no, what is the answer?
Earlier today,
I did the same thing to him earlier.
You're
The whole
evil.
family can get in on it.
evil.
All right. I've been using my Quip. Barrett's been using his Quip. Greg Miller,
I
using
love
your
my Quip. My favorite thing is brushing with it, and then I take it to the towel, I wipe it and dry it, put it in a little slip travel cover, toss it back in my bag, because I'm back on the road tonight,
Back
baby.
on the road, baby. And that's the coolest thing about it is it's sleek, it's sexy. You get that thing that works as a stand and as a travel to go pouch. Gotta love it. Andy, you gotta fix your life. You gotta get on this.
I'm on it.
Quip starts at just $25. And if you go to getquip.com/KFMS right now, you can get your first refill pack for free. That's your first refill pack free at getquip.com/KFMS. Getquip.com/KFMS. And also shout out to Hims. 66% of men lose their hair by age 35. The thing is, when you start to notice hair loss, it's too late. It's easier to keep the hair you have than to replace the hair that you've lost. Right, Andy?
It's true, so true, guys.
You've been using for Hims?
I love it. Yeah, use the finasteride pill. I've been taking that every day. I think it's been helping out a lot, and the gummies taste great as well. I know we always talk about the gummies, but yeah, the pill is definitely helping out with keeping what I have. And I think it's been a great investment.
Forhims.com is a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, sexual wellness for men. There's no snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements, prescription solutions backed by, that's right, science. Well-known generic equivalents to brand name prescription to help you keep your hair. It's so easy. There's no waiting room, no awkward in-person doctor visits. You just answer a few quick questions. The doctor will review it, and then products are shipped directly to your door. Listeners can get a trial month of Hims for just $5 today, right now while supplies last. See website for full details and information. This would cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/KFMS. That's FORHIMS.com/KFMS. Forhims.com/KFMS. It was so hard to make it through that without laughing.
Science with Hims.
I'm him. All right, the team is assembled. They're there. Guess what, everybody? They start. This is where we get the conversation about time travel, right? Of what it means and what it doesn't mean, because they are talking about the Back to the Future references. That if they, Tim, this is where I'm gonna need you, because this is more I do, not the full explanation, but more explanations in general. Thank you, Joey.
We got more recap juice.
Recap juice, baby.
Want all of them?
Yeah, I asked Cool Greg to bring them because I know he's been wanting to drink them with me. You know what I mean? Again, these are from Alan.
These are such pretty.
Alan Pinda once again came through with a brew bus shipment of beers for me. So thank you. Us, I guess. Kevin, you can have some.
Cans look
Oh,
great.
kinda-
I like the look of them.
Oh, yeah, it's really cool. Brew bus, everybody. I believe it's in Florida. Anyways. This is where they start explaining time travel, and it doesn't work the way Back to the Future does, right? This is where Banner is like, no, you're all idiots. That's not how it works. If we go back and change things, it makes an alternate timeline, right? That doesn't affect our timeline?
No.
In no way can the
Excuse me,
past.
I was asking Tim.
In no way can the past affect the future. Period.
What does that mean?
Anything
So
that
you-
happens, that when you time travel, you're creating a new timeline. The timeline we're in is not changing. Period.
So
Okay.
that and that backs up with when Banner goes to steal the time stone from Tilda Swinton's character. She goes, "You can do this, but if you take this out, well, then we get an alternate timeline." Thank you, sir.
Right, and he's like, but if I come
which
back
will
and give it
fuck
to you.
everything up. So he goes, "What if I come back and just replace it right during when I took it? Like the second I took it, I come back, I can just give it back to you. We're good." She goes, "That'll work."
So here are my questions then, and we're just jumping into the conversation. We
fair.
should save for a different podcast, but I'll keep it to 2. All right? So based on that, how does Captain America go back and then get old in the current timeline?
The only way it's possible is if he goes back and it's a different timeline that he spends his life with Peggy, and then comes back in the past the point where he's at the bench, and then uses the time travel to go back. But when you
wouldn't
have
he-
the hand GPS unit,
Yeah.
you can travel in the past. You can't travel to the future.
you can only return to where you left.
Yes.
So wouldn't he have then popped in no matter what, right where they were? Because the
Yes.
fact that he doesn't pop in on the portal to me makes it seem like he went back and lived his life up until that moment and then walked up to the bench.
What he could do then is in the future, post the point that we see him at the bench, go to the original timeline, and then go into the past to be on the bench. Then he can actually just
Wait,
pop into the bench because he has the
Jesus
GPS
Christ.
hand thing.
I disagree with Tim on how the time shit works. I think what they were saying is you can't go back in time and change something that's going to stop you from going back in time and changing that thing.
Okay.
So they're saying you can't go and like kill
Baby
Thanos because
Thanos.
then we never make the time machine and like it just won't work.
That's not right.
So what you're
And then-
saying?
hold on. There's a little bit more, and then I think
I'm very interested in this conversation.
that Tilda Swinton was saying that if you remove the time stones from their
You're
like
fucking those
timelines,
timelines.
that's where you create new timelines. And so, I don't think that Tony
which makes sense.
ever. Like I think there was always 2 Tonys and we never, or not Tonys. I'm sorry,
Caps.
2 Caps, and we just didn't know it.
No.
And there was one that was just
Well,
like,
that's what. If
I'm a
I can
normal.
stop you for 1 second, that's what you brought up that made sense. Where Peggy had kids, we knew that she had a husband. We never saw the photo of the husband, right? It was grayed out or whatever. So that was clearly maybe knock on wood, old Cap. My next question then becomes this. All right, cool. We're gonna take the time stones or the stones in general, period. But we'll bring them back and put them right where they were. How does sending Cap one man back get him to all the different places to get him out at the same time?
I think they were sending him back to those spots.
He goes to each place separately.
Yeah.
So, but
I think he programmed that in the board, so when he jumped in, it was go back to this Morgon,
okay.
then Vormir, then
But he
here,
never
and then
has
the
to
40s.
return home. My thought would have
Yeah,
been it's
no.
like, bing, bing, bing. You
No,
ping
I
pong
think
back.
it goes all of them at the same time. Then he was supposed to hit it and come back. And
The
then he
only
just
way to
never
go to
came
the
back.
future is to go to one of the
Time pads.
little time things that they make, right? You can go into the past and go exactly where you want to go with the
thing, yeah.
the bracelet thing.
I
It's a
thought
GPS.
I thought the bracelet got you back to the future.
Yeah, they hit the bracelet to go into the future.
back to the place.
Back to the
Yeah,
portal.
yeah.
the
Oh,
pods.
yes, I see what you're saying.
You need the pod to go to
Right,
the
right,
future.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can use the GPS thing to go to the past whenever you want.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why they do it
because
multiple times.
they do that. When they go to the 70s, they like program some other shit in, and
That's
they press
true,
it.
But
yeah.
they could
Great
do
point,
that
yeah.
because it's the past.
So
Yeah.
okay, so old Cap at the very end of the movie, you're saying is like probably from the year
breaks my brain.
I know, right?
2500 or something because he, like, how did he get old?
No, I mean he's been.
They never cement in this comic book universe that he ages slowly.
Yeah.
That's never said. It's never put in.
He would be 105 from everything we know in this universe when we see him at the end of this movie. Which I buy.
Yeah.
He has super soldier shit. He ages. We know he can grow a beard. It's not like he's just this
Right.
perfect human that can't change.
Oh, so
right?
he was just frozen. That's why he was.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, and like, I think that him being a super soldier made him also be able to survive being frozen.
But the theory I have would be that for how he gets back is, let's say that it's on that day at the end of the movie when they're waiting for him to come back.
Yeah.
Let's say it's 2:30. He could have, once they leave that area at 3 o'clock, popped back into the future to be at the spot, then used his thing to show up at the bench 30 minutes earlier.
But wouldn't he, if he used the thing to show up at the bench, wouldn't he have had to come through the portal? Or no, I guess you're right. You're right.
'cause
No,
it's
you're
the
right.
past
You're
at that
wrong.
point.
You're, I'm
so
wrong.
that's what I'm
Sorry.
saying though. Like that's the
Okay.
thing is like
Okay.
it's implied that he goes to the future and it doesn't need to be 30 minutes. It could be whatever the fuck he
Sure, yeah.
wants.
He lives a life with Peggy. She dies. He hangs out with his kids. They die. He hangs out with his grandkids.
Yeah.
They die. Like,
At some point, he goes back, and then he can use the GPS because he
Cool.
knows when to go to
Okay,
the bench.
fair.
The only thing that doesn't line up with is the idea that Peggy's kids and husband in the timeline we know was Cap. That doesn't make sense.
I mean,
How come?
they haven't shown anyone. Like, even in Agent Carter, like,
What I'm saying is like that is changing the past. Then that is not what I'm talking about. If he spent his life with Peggy and kids in a different timeline, and then came over and did this, that's the only thing that makes sense given the rules.
I don't think that, like, it was a different timeline. I think that, like, this shit's all shaky, and I think that we'll eventually get an answer to it.
No way. I don't think we're
I don't think
they're
they're
like,
to this.
we're done with Cap now. So like, and
You
Peggy.
think, like, if he has kids, they're not going to use that as, like, where it's like, hey, I'm Cap's son.
Yeah.
Not for a long time.
Cap Jr.
Not for a long
I
time.
didn't say it was going to be soon.
It's me, Cap Jr.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, it's Cap Jr.
Camp Jr.
I'm Cap Jr.
In my head,
Anyways, what?
In my head, he's always been. There's always been
Yeah.
two Caps, like Kev says.
Okay. Anyways, we have the conversation now. We had this whole time travel discussion. We're gonna do it. We figured it out. We need to figure out where all the Infinity Stones were, where we can go get them. Right? You missed nothing.
I know. I
plot
figured as much. I
event.
came back. He goes, this is the best fucking scene for one reason and one reason only. They have a Big Lebowski reference in this where they keep calling him the dude. Now, I don't know if you guys understand this, but it is fucking hilarious. And I love that part where they're like, when they get to the ether and they're like, Thor, you want to take this one? Is he asleep?
Yeah.
He's just
when we
out
start
there.
running through it, yeah. He's just there, glasses covered, drinking his hand, right? And they wake
Yeah.
him up, and he gives the most shattered rendition of everything. Talking about,
God.
here's Jane, my old flame.
It's like
blah,
we
blah.
broke up. It was mutual.
And they talk about his mom dying there, and this and the other, and they cut to all the different Avengers who are like, and then they cut to Scott Lang, who's like,
It's like
he's
he's a
enraptured.
kid, like a child, because he's like, we fought dark elves. Ooh, this is cuts the part where he's like, oh my god, it's so
watch this movie again.
I
right
too,
now.
dude, me too. If we weren't going to, if I wasn't going to the Borderlands thing tonight, I'd say let's go right after this.
The Scott Lang thing is so funny and awesome, and like kind of makes sense because for him 5 hours ago the world was normal. You know, I mean, granted it's probably been a week now, but like he doesn't know about Asgardians
I
and
know.
like
Yeah,
totally, yeah,
all
yeah.
this shit's
yeah,
completely new to
everything
them.
is like new and like wild.
So yeah, that's where Thor's got to send you, right? And we go through this, you know all this, right? I don't need to fucking explain. They're talking about the movies. They're doing all these.
We gotta go
different
back
things.
to all the cool parts of the movies.
I like it when Black Widow calls out that like there's 2 Infinity Stones, right? Or is it 3? 2. Real quick, 2. Sorry, I'm old and forgetful. So Tesseract, obviously, right? What was Loki's stick? Was that a
Mind.
Mine.
That was the
Okay,
mind
so it
stone.
was okay.
Because
Good.
in Age of Ultron, they have the bad guys. Hydra has the staff,
Yeah.
and then that's when they break it to make the.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the longest time, I
for
always thought
Viz.
that was the Tesseract.
Well, it's just confusing. I was
they're
like,
both
I
blue
believe that,
colors,
but I
yeah.
just don't remember it anymore. Anyways, there's 2 in New York at the same time, right? 3. What was the other one?
Time because it's at Doctor
Yeah,
Strange's
thank you
house.
very much. Thank you very much. And-
Bleecker Street.
Tesseract was
Shut the
what?
front door.
Bleecker Street.
Shut
What
the
is-
front door.
What is Tesseract again?
That's
Space.
the
Space.
Well, okay, I'm sorry.
The original one.
And then what
Captain
color? What
Marvel.
color was Mind?
Yellow.
It was yellow, but it was in a
It was
blue
hidden inside
egg.
the blue thing, which confuses.
That's very
Yeah.
confusing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they also retconned it.
That
too,
was definitely
because-
100%.
thing.
Yeah.
in the first Avengers, they're like, oh, the staff is powered by the Tesseract, and then when they go
Well,
back,
we didn't
to it, it's
know.
like, yeah.
They were idiots. They didn't know. They didn't know. You know what I mean? Anyways, we figured it out. We're gonna go do it. Congratulations. We need to test if it works. Scott Lang's scared about it. This is also when he's like, we only have enough for a round trip for everybody in 2 tests. Then he screws it up. He comes back 1 test. He's scared about doing it though. Guess who isn't? Ronin. He's got nothing to lose. He's a rebel without a cause. So he shoots back, and he shoots back to the farm where little Hawkeyes are all running over, and he finds a baseball glove, and he gets to the door, and then his thing goes off, and he yells for his kid, but the kid doesn't come down in time, and he gets transferred back. You're like, wow, powerful scene.
Gut wrenching.
That, with all due respect, I think the power in that scene totally does not match the lack of power when he gets off the Quinjet at the end of the movie. Because he gets off the Quinjet and he's like, hey. And it's like, dude, no, they've been dead for 5 years. Like, you'd be fucking freaking out. It doesn't matter. So cool, it works. He comes back. We're gonna do it. Let's all get into our groups. We all have groups. You know what you're gonna do. Captain America, they all have the cool walk out to the pad. Captain America gives a great speech. Rocket's like, he's really good at these speeches. Paul Rudd's like, I know, right? It was fucking
Paul Rudd
another
the
great
entire
scene.
time, like dropping little hints that he's fucking just in love
Fanboy
with Captain
with Cap.
America.
You
I
got
love
a
it,
captain,
yeah.
yeah. And so yeah, there we go. And this is like, I was so on board with everything that happens as they shoot through time
The
here.
music fucking build up to all of that was so good, and I said this on Screencast, but I loved how Infinity War had the really cool fucking titles for whatever planet they were on popping up on the
It's
screen.
one of my favorite part of the movie.
And they didn't do that for this one until the time jump. It would be like New York
sense.
2012. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is what Endgame is. This is amazing.
Here's my question though. So they were able to send people to New York and to Morgan or whatever it was. Morag. Why didn't they just send the second team to Vormir?
I don't know.
I don't understand that.
It's really, really
have
and I
them
can
weird.
get
build
it
it
from a
up.
plot device why they had
Yeah.
to do it, but that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Wait, I'm
spatially.
sorry, I missed what you're talking
If you
about.
can
What?
send people anywhere, anytime with this device, why would you send 4 people back with a ship?
Yeah.
So that 2 people can take the ship to Vormir. Why not just send those 2 people to Vormir and put the other 2 people to Mora?
Is it a thing of, and I'm just shooting from that, is it trying to save pin particles?
No, I don't think so.
No, because they say they burn the pin
No,
particles.
because don't they go get more pin particles? Oh, that's right. That's later. That's later. Yeah.
Because they all have one round trip.
They go to the
Yeah,
70s.
it's weird. It doesn't make sense.
It's
Yeah, that was the only that was a little bit weird. Like, why would they do
Because
that?
you
Why
would
not just
need,
go right
you
to
would need
just send-
different pin particles to be used if they were going to different times, but they were both going to 2014.
Right.
So that
So
was
just
just
dial in
GPS.
another
well, no, the pin
GPS
particles still
location.
make you small. They don't do anything with time.
Well, then whatever
Yeah.
whatever the hell.
Yeah, but they
had,
all
whatever the time
they
juice
all
was.
went separately,
I don't think
so
they
it
had
doesn't
time
matter.
juice.
They all needed separate pin particles to go small and go in. So
Yeah.
why not just send them over to Vormir?
That was a
Either
weird
way, small
mistake.
small mistake, but that's
Yeah.
fine. I get it because
No, I'm
they-
sure there's some like really
well, no,
nerdy
the reason
explanation.
was because they have that conversation with Nebula, and then she reconnects to the Nebula at that time. That's why they had them do that. But that could have easily been done with just her and War Machine.
Yeah.
It didn't need to happen with
Yeah, it's weird.
anyone
No idea.
else because we didn't know at this point. Nebula of that time didn't really know who the fuck Rocket was or any of these people, so it doesn't matter. But either way, it was a fun scene, and we get to recreate one of the best fucking moments in Marvel history when we see Star-Lord
dancing and
fucking
singing.
dancing and singing.
And
the
then
thing,
we
and
get
it
the
cuts
other
back
cut
out
of it of like, not
as a
from our
fucking
angle.
idiot.
I feel like there was a mistake here where they had them knock him out, and it just like I feel like that now redefines rules and stuff where it's like clearly that wasn't happening concurrently with like the actual timeline, the movie that we saw, because he never got knocked out. And
It's a different timeline, Kevin.
Yeah, I know, and it's
timelines.
confusing because now because
It's
one of the
not.
stone, yeah, it is because when
That's not what happened in our timeline.
no, I understand, but the stone gets removed after he gets knocked out.
Yeah.
So if they're supposed to return the stone exactly when
They took it.
they took it, that means they've altered the timeline because he was knocked out.
But, but that's okay. But the thing is, it doesn't erase that timeline. That timeline exists no matter what.
Yeah, it's
Putting the
just not
stone back
ours.
is making it so that nothing crazy different's going to happen removing the stones. They don't have to put the stones back. They're just doing
So then
that
what-
to
like-
keep the timeline going.
So
where
is
the
that
stones are there.
canon then? Like he does get knocked out?
It's canon. There's a million canons.
Yeah, he's saying it's an
No,
alternate.
but I'm saying what is our MCU?
Our MCU is still what we saw.
Yeah.
Everything we've
Yeah.
seen.
Because
That's
remember, they
saying, is
established
breaks
that
up- I'm
nothing
with
you can do
Time
can
I'm
travel
with
is
you.
such a fuzzy thing.
I'm
right?
with you
Yeah.
that then that would mean that the guy's name I can never remember from Air and that
Jamin Hamsu.
Thank you very much. He would beat Star-Lord there. Star-Lord
Right.
would still be knocked out. He'd get there and get the stone first. Yeah.
But also Star-Lord would never have the stone. This is the problem. Like they set up that one line, which I think is the most important thing, is that Banner's like, it doesn't work like that. Our future is still our past, no matter what happened. So no matter what we fucking do back there, we're still coming back to this point and beating Thanos in this point. Otherwise, but yeah, you have to figure that by those definitions, the second you changed anything, that timeline then went boop, alternate timeline. So there's a whole alternate timeline out there where that stone is just gone. And Thanos can't do anything because it's just pulled into a different timeline, and then they go back and put it. I guess they go back to that timeline, put it back, but then maybe Thanos gets it and destroys everyone in that timemeline, and no one can ever do anything. So All of these they're just splinter timelines. That's why, it's the same. And by the way,
and we're in New York, everybody. We're in an alley, and we see everybody doing the original Avengers stuff, and it's awesome and it's cool.
Fucking great.
And they're like, all right, cool, we got to go do this. You go uptown, downtown. I can't keep track of New York, whatever. And then Hulk runs in. The OG Hulk runs in, smashes one of the Chitauri, smashes him with a cab, jumps in the cab, runs away. They look over at Banner, and he's like, oh my God, I can't believe that was
and he's
me.
like, you got to get out there, but
You should probably smash some stuff along the way.
no, but they tell him to take his shirt off first. This is gratuitous.
Yeah.
All right.
But then he goes out there like, it's so good.
Motorcycle.
So fucking good. Yeah, exactly.
So fucking funny. It reminded me. We were talking about it on the review, but it reminded me a lot of when Paul Rudd and What Hot America Summer was just like throwing things on the ground.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it was fun.
So yeah, everybody runs off in New York to do their things, all right. And like you said, Hulk runs to Tilda Swinton. She knocks him out of his boots there. Now we get some Banner
He gets
stuff.
all fucking tough with her first.
Yeah.
She does the chi knock where she just knocks him out. It's cool.
They explain for a while. Yeah, he talk, and she's not gonna give it up, and yada blah blah blah.
She's like, you don't understand. Dormammu is coming. But I also thought it was cool that she was like, he's like, I'm looking for Dr. Stephen Strange.
He won't
And
be
she
here
goes,
for
he won't
another
be
5
here
years.
for another 5 years. Like she just knows
He's
because
20
she's the
blocks
master.
down performing
surgery right now.
Yeah.
I thought that was fucking cool.
And I thought it was cool too at the end
he
when
wasn't a thing.
the argument is just like, well, why would Steven have given it to you? I'm like, what? He gave it to him?
Yeah.
Fuck, you guys know more than me. He's supposed to be the greatest one. Another thing Jen brought up
trust
that
him.
I don't understand. At the end, she fought Strange, right? She wasn't a bad guy, but she fought him over differing ideals.
No. She fought like Kella's.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah,
forgetful
yeah,
movie
yeah.
Doctor Strange. Why it's
Mads-
so far down the list, so it doesn't matter.
No.
Movie sucks, Barrett!
We didn't have any problem remembering it with your fucking remember juice down there.
It's my recap juice, and it's different.
The fuzzy juice you got.
Are they fucked now? Because like the time stone's supposed to be like their ultimate weapon. They don't have that anymore.
Well, that's what she was saying. You got to come back and bring it right back to me.
No, I
Otherwise,
understand.
Dormammu is going to come
But I'm
and
saying
fuck everything
Doctor
up.
Strange just like doesn't have it. Like it's after.
he still got this
No,
thing.
remember, they're going to bring it right back to him.
No. Doctor Strange of like our current.
He's talking about.
But again, the rules of this are no matter what we do in the past,
I'm
doesn't
not
change
talking
anything in the
it's
future.
fine. It's confusing. It doesn't matter.
You're saying
The stones are all gone now.
The
Yes.
stones are all gone. Yeah.
Correct. So that means there's how many
doesn't
stones
have
are
a time
there?
stone.
Six alternate
Yeah.
timelines that
Alright,
are
cool.
totally
Thanks,
fucked
Andy.
up. Where one of which Dormammu came and ate our world.
We're just not on the same page. It doesn't matter. We're going to
Doesn't
keep
matter.
on trucking here, everybody. Yeah, it's gone in our timeline. We'll see what that means in Doctor
Yeah.
Strange 2. Going forward, yeah, so that's whatever. He gets the stone from her. Congratulations.
I see what you're saying.
Then,
I
yeah,
apologize.
Cap's got to bounce over to go get the Cap and Iron Man. Bounce over and Hulk. No, Cap, Iron Man, and Ant-Man. Bounce over to Avengers Tower to get the Tesseract and the staff or whatever. This is just the best.
It
This
is just
if
the
the ending
best.
wasn't so good,
So
this would be the best
This
scene
is
in
just
the movie,
such
right?
fan servicey shit. I love
It's
it.
so
In the
fucking
best
great.
way. In the
It's like
best
I love
way.
that they use this scene to reenact multiple scenes.
Yeah.
Like even the scene of Tony jumping out the window and like having the suit come on. I'm like, didn't know that was something I needed to see again, but it fucking made me happy.
Yeah. That's
really
and all
cool.
building to the elevator scene that we're
Yeah,
just
but
gonna
we
reenact that
get a
here?
great
Oh
moment
my
where
God.
he's like, that suit really did nothing for your ass.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Paul Rudd's like, excuse me, as far as I'm concerned, that's America's ass.
So good. So good. So
that is
fucking
America's
good.
ass.
The entire thing's so fucking good, like
So
you said.
good.
So yeah, even getting the backstage view of the showdown with Loki, I'm like, I'll have that drink now. And then them getting on the elevator, they won't let Hulk on the elevator.
Are we
That makes
just
them
gonna keep posing? No, okay, cool, let's go. What I loved about it is every piece of dialogue they had there felt like it could have been in the 2012
Yeah.
Avengers if they had just carried that scene on.
Fucking great. Let's take the stairs. Hulk hates stairs.
Yeah.
There's too many stairs.
yeah.
So many stairs.
Punches the shit out of the elevator.
So yeah, Cap gets on the elevator, right? Or our Cap gets on the elevator
God.
with all the Hydra guys that they don't know are Hydra guys and wants the staff. They
Fucking
won't give it
great.
to him. He's like,
Great
no,
scene.
Secretary said to. Hail Hydra. And the look on the face and then the immediate cut to the doors open and him walking off with it,
Laughing.
smiling.
He
So
giggles
good.
to himself like dumb shits.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking great.
And then yeah, downstairs we have original Iron Man and original Avengers getting confronted by Robert Redford. Like Tilda Swinton, what a great cameo. Robert Redford popping up, what a great
yeah.
cameo. You know what I mean?
Someone brought this up though because I mentioned on the review, I was like, didn't he retire? And then they're like, dude, they shot this shit like 2 years ago. I was like, oh, good point.
Great point.
This
Yeah,
has been,
yeah. I
this has
didn't
been in the
think about that
can
either.
for a long time.
They have the conversation there. Ant-Man jumps into Tony, starts fucking with his heart, so it causes cardiac arrest to get the thing away. They drop thing, he falls down, they kick the thing over. Loki just watches it go by, but he's been silenced or
Muzzled and
whatever.
shit,
But, our Iron Man starts to walk away with it. Hulk comes out of stairs, knocks him down, loses the
But
thing.
even the
throws it
scene with
over to
Loki when he got the thing on his mouth was so good,
So
where he was
good.
Captain America, he's like, me, and
Yeah,
then Thor just
yeah.
fucking flips it back.
Yeah.
Great.
Loki sees that, grabs the Tesseract, uses it to shoot back
Disappears.
into space, right?
Love it.
Love that he.
Welcome to Disney Disney Plus.
I know. That's what we're gonna do. We assume,
100%.
right? Yeah.
Love the part where Thor's like, hold on, let me try something. And then just hits him with the hammer, and he's like, "It worked."
I had no idea if that would work. I know. So great, so great. Meanwhile, yeah, Loki's gone. Upstairs, Cap gets confronted with Cap. They have a great fucking fight scene, throwing shields at each other,
It's
throwing
like,
around.
nice try, Loki. And he's like, I'm not Loki.
Yeah, he's like, I've got eyes on Loki.
And then he
I can
knocks
do
it-
this all day.
I know.
Yeah,
Knocks
so
him
great.
out, has the best line of the movie where he looks at his own ass and goes, that is America's
Yeah,
ass.
he walks off. So
Fucking great,
So
dude.
fucking
I
great.
love that he also used he knows his own weakness is hearing Bucky's name.
Yeah.
He's like, Bucky is alive.
We get back to rendezvous point with all of them. We still don't have the things. Oh my god! And Tony, quick thing is there's only one other time I can think about those two stones being together. Right? We got to go back even further into the 60s. Is that what it is?
70s.
70s or whatever. To this off the books place, right? Where the
Shield was.
yeah,
Winter
they,
Soldier
they
place.
shoot over there, right? Yeah, and so they go down there. Howard Stark's there. He sees Iron Man, cuts it out, does that thing.
He's asking for Zola. which is
Captain,
cool.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Captain
We get
America's
the
wandering
Stan
around.
Lee cameo, the last one.
Oh right, yeah.
Which
yeah.
Doesn't love it.
No,
I
I
didn't
didn't
think it
love
was
it either.
great.
No,
Yeah,
either.
didn't
Yeah.
think it was great.
Damn hippies, is that what he said?
Make love, not
Make
war.
love, not
He
war.
was a
Yeah.
hippie.
He was
No,
a hippie,
yeah.
that's right.
Cap walks into Peggy's office, sees her through the thing, doesn't get a chance to say anything. Sweet. Iron Man gets to have a whole conversation with his dad, which is really sweet, right? At the
I
end,
love this.
At the end, hugs him. Thank you for
everything
everything.
you've done for America.
For everything you've done for
For
America.
America.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what's funny is I was like, oh no, is this the night that his dad died? I thought they were going back to that, but I guess that was like the 80s. Must have been.
That was
Significantly
early
later.
90s.
Early 90s, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I thought they were going to go back to I thought he was going to see his dad on the day and be like, don't get in the car. Or
Yeah.
some shit like that. But no, it was 70s and they haven't really, what a great thing for them to do of you're a dad and then you get to go back and give your dad advice on how to, I thought it was really cute.
Really cute. Really good.
Shout out to the Jarvis cameo.
Yeah.
That's the Jarvis from Agent Carter's show.
Also, she's the lady in the elevator.
Also from Community.
Yvette Nicole Brown, right? Who's
Yeah.
all over The Walking Dead stuff and all over this. Great job.
She's funny.
And I was
interviewed her.
I love the hug.
I did.
I love that
Someone
hug.
did on Comic
Sure. Yeah, the hug's great. Yeah. But I did wonder, I wasn't at all paying attention to the timelines, but I was wondering, is this going to be like Nick Fury's mom? Are they going to do something weird like that and call her Fury at
Jesus.
the end? Right? They didn't.
Thank God they
Yeah,
didn't.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But I just thought she was so on him of these guys aren't supposed to be here and stuff. And I know that
Just a snitch.
in Captain Marvel they had done the whole thing of what do they call you? Fury. They call my mom Fury? They call this? Or, interesting. Anyways, that's all great. Now we jump to Vormir, in general, right? We jump back to the space. Because have we done the other space one?
No.
Morag.
I think we're at Morag.
What, but there's
We
two-
did that, and then there's Vormir, yeah.
Right, and that's when he got the ship from Rocket
Ether
and they
was
went
at
over
some
there.
point.
Right. Oh, God, yeah. So yeah, we were fucking on. We're up on fucking Asgard. Thank you very much. And Fat Thor's there, and Rocket's there, and Natalie Portman's there.
Yes, she is. Fuck yeah. This is one of my favorite things about this movie because going into it, everyone's like, what movies do I need to watch to have this to know? And it's like,
All of them.
watch them all. Watch them all. And I love that the Russo
Stupid
brothers were
Fran.
like, yeah, no, we're going to make Dark World mean something.
Yeah.
You need, even the people that watch that, you get some fucking payoff for this because let's
You
go.
deserve it for
You
Glory
deserve
Days.
it.
I love when he runs away. They have the great shot where Rocket's trying to fucking build him up, and he's like, "Cool." Turns around, he's gone, and then you think he's sneaking around, and who does he bump into? Of course, his mom, who, and I love this, immediately recognizes that it's not her
Yeah.
Thor.
Oh, the future has been
She's
unkind
like,
to
the
you.
future has been unkind to you, and he's
Yeah.
like, "I'm not from the future."
I'm totally from the future.
And she goes, "You forget I was raised by witches.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I was not
yeah.
raised
It's
to
great.
you
Such a
can't
great-
pull this over on me."
Great conversation
So
between
Great
good.
them.
moment, and she's the one that hypes him up and is like, "You got to go you got to be the man that I know you can be."
And of course, Rocket just did it all
Just
on his
sneaking
own.
around, like, stabs her in the ass.
Yeah, runs in with it, all right. And then Thor's like, all right, let's go. And then he goes, wait.
yeah.
And
Where
Rocket's
is it?
like,
Where is
what?
it?
What?
What are you
And
doing?
she's like,
Yeah,
she's like,
it
sometimes it
takes
takes a
a
while.
while.
It
Dude.
gets to him. He's like, I am still worthy.
No, I meant where is ours? Where is it?
Oh, Nick took it away from
down there.
Kevin because
Oh,
Kevin was
took it
playing
away.
with it.
I liked it.
I love this moment so
Dude,
much.
well, first off, he tries to tell his mom about what's going to happen.
Yeah,
and
that
she
she's gonna
stops him
die.
and goes, "This
Yeah.
is not. You have to fix your future. My future is my future." And then he grabs Mjolnir, and it comes to him, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." He was just testing to see If it's still like if he's still
fucking
winning,
goes.
no, he fucking gaffles it.
Yeah.
He just takes it. So the other
Fuck
Thor,
that timeline.
the other
Fuck that
universe is
timeline.
fucked.
Yeah.
And by the way, he didn't put Mjolnir back.
Yes, he
So-
did.
Oh,
Time
yeah.
out. Time
he
out.
did.
Steve
Yeah, he
did
did.
go back
Steve
with all
probably
the
did,
Infinity Stones and the hammer.
Oh, did he have the
So
hammer?
He did
Oh, that's
take,
right, 'cause he gives him the
take it
hammer.
back. Yeah, he
That's
did take
right,
it back.
okay.
But that was my first thought too.
I was like,
he's like,
fuck
fuck
you.
that Thor. Bam, I'm out of here.
Dude, what a hilarious
So
moment.
good.
So yeah, that covers Mjolnir. Congratulations, we got that stone. Then yeah, so
We've seen we have a thing where obviously War Machine and Nebula are talking. That goes through the real Thanos and Nebula, and we start seeing Gamora and Nebula now in
They piece it all together, yeah,
Guardians
yeah.
of the Galaxy. Nebula gets a fucking headache and then shoots out like an R2D2 style thing
Yeah,
that says
yeah.
like, and Thanos figures it out like, wait a minute.
yeah, they go and they break him down. They find the timestamp. They understand what's
She's
happening.
like, that's happening now.
He's
but
like, I
that's not-
succeeded. Whoa.
That's not our, yeah, and then
Fuck
starts putting
yeah.
together the
Destiny
plan.
served.
I succeeded, but these people are coming back, so something needs to. We need
Great
to
thinking
stop
on his
them.
feet, right? That he's
Yeah.
gonna switch out the old nibs.
So yeah, she comes and
nibs.
she takes off the orange stripe from the
Right.
other
Well,
end.
they start to
We're skipping around
leave.
a
They
little bit.
they succeed in their mission to getting their stone. They start to leave, and Rhodey leaves, but they short her out at the last second.
Right.
Then they abduct her before she tries to radio people. No one's gonna hear
Right,
it.
that's right.
They abduct her. They put her in. Yeah. Then they swap Nebulas. They send back that Nebula. They send bad Nebula back.
Bad Nebula back.
Then yeah.
And Vormir,
Yeah. Hawkeye, Black Widow, and Red Skull. Right.
which is crazy.
As soon as we split off, like well,
You knew it was- we all
it's
knew what was
like,
happening,
oh,
right?
Fuck yeah!
Hey, but
This
I
is gonna
love
be-
it's such a great mirror image in it's the reverse side of the other coin of where like Thanos was so quick to throw Gamora off. Gamora
Yeah.
fucking hates Thanos even though she kind of loves him, but you know what I mean. She
Right.
hates him. Like this one being like them fucking with each other because they both want to sacrifice themselves instead of that.
They
Like,
literally fight each
awesome
other
fighting.
to see who's going to kill themselves.
There was a great
stop the other
there was a
person from
great
doing that.
one on the Avengers
So
or
good.
the Marvel Studios subreddit the other day of like that. If you've ever seen that really bad taxidermy fox that's like sitting there all like haggard,
Yeah.
like, and then the caption on top of it was just like Red Skull watching Black Widow and Hawkeye fight each other to see who dies. Just like, can you guys finish? Like I got things to do.
Like, and I think Kev, you brought this up right. As soon as someone gets the stone, he's free, right?
That's what the Russo brothers said.
Okay, so he's
in an
like, just
interview.
somebody get the fucking stone, so I
Well,
can go
but
back
like-
to like that dead, being dead.
That the whole. I'm super confused about like how does he put the stone back then?
I don't think he does. I think the stone just puts itself back.
And he
I
just
think whatever
goes there and
power it
tosses
is,
it down, and be
is
like,
just
"Alright,
it just
it'll figure
goes
itself
back to it, and the next gatekeeper has to be there. Whoever tries to
Who's the
steal
next
it without,
gatekeeper?
I don't know. But didn't he try to steal it without having to make the sacrifice? And that
Well,
makes you
theoretically, if he
become
put
the-
it back from the moment they took it, there would be no gatekeeper. It'd still be Red Skull, right?
Yeah.
No, but
nobody died.
Yeah, because no one.
They
But
fixed
see,
the
that's
tunnel.
it's all
I know,
so
I know.
confusing.
I'm
So
with you.
confusing.
Well, either way,
I
great
hope that
scene
people
where
are still in the stone. Though.
they end up literally hanging off the cliff, and she
being like, "Let me go."
and she's like, "Let me go," and he's like, "No, like, don't do this." And she fucking
She
like a
hooked his
just a
bitch ass in
baller,
there.
Yeah,
just
so
pushes
good.
off, just kicks off the rock and takes her hand out and falls, and,
and
it's
he
so
says,
sad.
"Please," as
Yeah.
she's slipping through. And
So
it's just
fucking sad.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
And,
And then she falls and lands in the exact same position, which to me bothers
I
me.
liked it.
Well, that's part of the Soul Stone, though.
Yeah, I
If you
guess.
die, you get
part
the
of the
Soul
deal.
Stone. That's how you fall.
Yeah.
That's how you look. You're
Yeah.
same blood, everything.
Yeah.
But I like it. I liked it because I thought it served to like back up. Like this is inevitable. That you if this is what you want, this is what has to happen. It's the same thing for everyone, no matter what.
So we all shoot back to the present. Everybody's
Well, he wakes up in the
celebratory. Did
pond
this
first.
actually? Well, yeah, okay,
Fans it.
okay. They
Come on,
fucking
guys, it's a beautiful
exactly the
shot.
same fucking thing before.
The same
everybody else.
music.
Spray
Same
fucking
thing.
courage juice all over your
Congratulations.
face.
You wouldn't
What's it
dare.
called?
It's Diet Coke.
No, this stuff recall.
that's
Oh, it's
Scar. We
recap
call
juice,
that
not
beer.
courage juice.
I'm sorry. What's courage juice?
Courage juice is also alcohol. They can be whatever they need to be. Shoot back. Yeah, we all did it. Where's Nat? Oh, no. And like Hawkeye says everything. Hulk punches the thing and he's all mad. And then we cut down to the waterfront and everybody's still mad. And fucking Hulk throws the bench. And it's the first time he shows some real anger. Everybody's like, oh, man, it should have been me. It should have been this, blah, blah. Whatever. It's not going to be for nothing. Let's fucking
But this
do
is also important because this is actually the first real consequence of this movie, right? Like this is the first time we know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, there's no bringing her back. Because at first,
That's what he says. Yeah. He's like, if you want to argue with it, go back up there and argue with the red guy. And I was like, call him Red Skull. I want to see Captain America react to this.
Yeah.
Wait, red guy, what do you mean exactly? I knew a guy who touched the
that's
stone
true.
once. Like, what are you talking about?
Wait, Shug's for real? Like, whoa.
Wait, did he have a German
This
accent?
is the first real loss, right? This is the first
Yeah.
time we as an audience we
in
go.
this movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Vision sucks. I know.
Disney Plus fans, don't listen.
But even Vision,
Dude,
like
I'm very
I
excited
was
for that
like,
show.
maybe they can still bring him back, right? But they can't because they needed the stone for that, right?
Yeah, he wasn't dusted.
Oh my God,
I mean,
why?
we have We have a
Vision got killed.
series
Yeah, so he
coming,
wasn't
so.
as anyway. But this is the
Bear,
first
I need more paper towels.
This is the
My
first
recap juice got everywhere.
actual time we have an actor saying I'm not returning to this franchise in the way you know it. Like she's not going to be in future installments, right?
We don't know.
I mean, she's getting her own movie.
But she's not going to be in another Avengers movie because she's dead.
Yeah.
Or
don't know.
is she?
I mean, that's
She
what's
could.
implied.
I like
yes.
to think that maybe she's still in the Soul Stone.
And I mean, there's an argument to be made for that, right? She has her own movie. We know that Viz is in the Wanda.
Yeah.
Is that what they call him?
WandaVision.
Ooh, I got an idea.
Yeah.
I got an idea. Loki's hopping around time with his Tesseract. Yeah, exactly. And then he gets her out of the Soul Stone somehow.
Great idea.
He puts
Here's
it,
what I
it in a
learned.
blunt. and
From my
Nailed it,
conversations
dude.
with Gary Whitta and a Hollywood writer, that's too in depth. It'll be a rat's gonna walk over the Soul Stone and shit out everybody.
And the Tesseract doesn't give him time travel.
Just space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Space
he's
and
in there
time,
early,
dude.
so maybe he hops over early. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
So we're back, right? We're all back, and then the cool one of
Figured it out.
we got all the stones. That sucks. We go back to the lab, and you're like, but how are they going to remake the Infinity Gauntlet? Because
Tony got
doesn't
it.
that have to be like this mythical thing that's built by giant dwarves who forge it in the heart of a? No, we just got nanobots.
It just needs to be
But
it just
didn't,
needs
though.
something to harness the power.
Yeah.
They made the blueprints. Like the blueprints existed. So it's like at that point, like the Stormbreaker was the Dying Star stuff.
Yeah, but didn't they made the gauntlet in the Dying Star as well, right?
Yeah,
But I think that's just where Thanos went. Of like,
Yeah,
he's
that was his go-to guy.
Who knows how to channel shit? This
My brain went to
Right.
the same spot. Of
But
like,
I just thought it was very weird that like you have this thing that is like incredibly complex and hard to make because it's the only thing in the known universe that can actually
Harness
is
infinity.
powerful enough because it was forged with this incredible source of power to harness the most powerful stones in the fucking universe things. And Tony just goes, "Nah, I got it."
But here's
and it just
time
makes
out
a
real
fucking
quick. Just to
nanobot
be-
thing.
I mean, really quick to be time out. You started with this incredibly complicated thing, right? Tony's armor, arguably incredibly complicated. I think Tony, one of the smartest minds in the world, right? They now have readings from all these stones. Maybe
And
he's
he's been
able to look
dealing
at it
with
and be
the
like,
stones for
he's able to look at it. And
years
be
at
like,
this
don't get me
point.
wrong, it's a jump. It's a
Fair.
leap.
I just feel like it was like we made a big deal about the gauntlet being a thing. It's in
Yeah.
like it's in the Asgardian prison and it's just like fake and all that stuff. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. Not a big deal anymore. Anyone can hold these. People are holding these fucking things
That was
willy-nilly
the other
now.
thing. Yeah, it didn't seem like people were touching them too much.
I
People
had-
touching it a lot.
I had
When
the
Peter
same
Quill
thought.
held
They were
it, the
floating,
fucking thing
right?
burned him away.
To me,
I feel
like the glove created by Eitri and Nidavellir is like it has these mythical properties to it.
That's my
and
thing,
it's like a
too.
magical sort of thing.
Science
That's
beyond
I
what we can
thought.
understand,
Yeah,
right? That's
but
when because we set up
Doesn't
the
matter. They made
Asgardians.
the fucking gauntlet.
Fucking
Suck
go.
it, suck it, suck it, suck it.
And then they have the conversation about who should be doing this.
Meanwhile,
and
Nebula's walking around going, I'm bad. I want to do bad things.
I'm gonna flip some switches. Look, I know how to do this thing. I'm a computer.
She's a computer. She put her computer
put her
fingers
hand
in there,
in it,
right?
and it all
And
opened
so
up.
yeah, just for the sake of argument, that's when she shoots out the spaceship. We jump back over there though, and yeah, they're all arguing, and Hulk's like, no, it's got to be. Thor wants it. Hulk's like, it's got to be me. It's mainly gamma radiation anyway.
This is what I was here for. This is what I'm here for.
It's almost like what I was created for.
Yeah, it's really
It's
cool.
really
Really
cool.
great line.
Really cool.
Yeah. So he puts it on, sure enough, he goes,
Starts fucking up his arm. Immediately just roasting his arm.
and they do that for a while.
Keep going.
It goes on even longer. Because it'll get shorter or longer depending on who needs it in the story beat they need it for.
Yeah.
But he's like, and they're like,
Before they said that, he clarifies only the people that were dusted. Bring them back now.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, bring him back to
Don't
5 years
bring them
later.
back 5 years ago. Bring them back now. Like, let's not fuck with anything. Just the people we lost,
Right.
which I think was important.
Because again, that would be what you're talking about, the timeline shit, right?
Yeah.
If you
'Cause
snapped and brought him back 5 years ago, that
it
would
would've
start a new
fucked everything
timeline,
up.
and they'd still be there being like, fuck!
Well, no. What would have happened was if they kind of came back 5 years ago, Thanos would never have destroyed the things. He would have just snapped his finger again, and then killed them all again. So they had to bring it back now after the
We're both
gloves
right,
already
actually,
fucked.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we're both right.
And we're both wrong. More you
That's what I'm talking
know.
about. Oh,
I don't think that's how it works. I think you could just both
And
be
he
right.
snaps his fingers, and there's a white light, and then the ship shot out, and we're all like, whoa, what the fuck happened? And then everybody's like, and he's like, my fucking hand.
I feel like an alarm should have gone off maybe
Fried.
when Thanos' gigantic Kree ship
It all
came,
happened
but
at the same time. There's too much. You don't know what
Yeah.
the snap.
Fair.
What's the fucking ship? You don't know what's going on.
Fuck.
That'll happen, and then they did barn door protocol. They undid barn door protocol, and guess what? There's some fucking cheap birds out there. They're all like cheap.
Man.
And Paul Rudd's like, it
Super
worked.
happy.
I think it worked, guys.
Why did Paul Rudd think it worked from that?
There's
I
A lot
don't
of butterflies.
Hawkeye also got
happened?
a call from his wife.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
That
Thanks
was-
for jumping ahead and spoiling the whole fucking thing.
Wow.
It
God
happens
damn
literally
it.
at
The
the
phone
same
fucking
time.
rings, and guess what, everybody? Mrs. Hawkeye. And Paul Rudd's like,
I'm Linda
"Oh,
Cardellini."
I think it
Whatever
worked.
the
And then
fuck
it's
her
like,
name
you know
is.
what?
You got it. Man.
Thanos sends a whole bunch of rockets down to kill
Just
nobody.
That
fucks
was
them up.
so
Insane.
intense.
Scary. It was
so
very
scary.
scary.
And it's just so crazy that we were like at such a like moment of like, fuck yeah, they're winning, and it's like, oh shit.
Immediately, I thought Paul was dead.
Yeah, that
you
would
would think so.
That would have made a
the
lot
way
of sense.
he blasted back,
Yeah.
the speed that he went
But
back,
you
was
didn't
like,
realize
oh man.
it only looked like he was blasting back because he was turning smaller. You know?
Sure,
This scene
sure.
reminded me of a grand scale version of the scene from Homecoming where Spider-Man is just like,
Oh yeah,
help.
Well,
but that's
Rocket literally has the
everyone.
exact same thing.
Yep.
Rocket
Yeah.
does the same thing.
can't breathe.
Can't breathe.
And
You know
the
what I mean?
best War Machine scene we've had, man. I love him getting out of the thing to help.
Canopy,
Rocket.
canopy.
So cool.
And then crawls over, not without the use of his legs, right, and is able to still get it off Rocket.
Gets Rocket up.
Hulk's down there holding it all up, right. Ant-Man's coming to the rescue eventually.
This is all horrifying. Like this is just
terrible.
Yeah, totally.
Jeremy Renner gets in the scene somehow, right, and takes the gauntlet and starts running.
Yeah,
Gets
we
the
get
He
that.
ball
wakes
Yeah.
up in like an even lower level
and sees the gauntlet.
and sees the gauntlet, grabs it, turns around, and we're starting to see
Just
those like
those
6-armed monsters.
terrifying
Check
things.
here.
Outriders.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what they're
And
called.
he-
Outright.
I thought it was-
and he starts running.
I like this scene. I like everything he does here, where he's like goes up the line and starts cutting
Oh,
heads
he's
off and
awesome.
shit. I thought it was really, really cool.
Yeah, no, fucking Ronin
Yeah.
slash Hawkeye slash
then
Renner, awesome.
He like gets out of that pipe, lands, and it's like, oh, it's over. There's no one following me. He looks down. There's no one there. And then-
Nebula walks
Nebula
up and he just goes, I know you.
Hey.
I know you. And
She's like,
I like the idea that Greg. I would like this to be like the fact for, or like how we present this from now on is that like you always hated Hawkeye, he's a moron, but he got the haircut. He's like, oh, he's so cool.
so cool. I've always been a fan, guys. I've always been a huge
I always
fan.
love him.
We skipped over in the ship, obviously, where
Nebula talks Gamora
Current
into-
Nebula talks to past Gamora, and they have a heart-to-heart of like, what happens? We're friends. I know you're going to leave in a second anyway.
Try to kill
Like,
you a
blah,
lot.
blah. Yeah,
But
but we end up
eventually
being sisters,
we're
right?
sisters.
And so she gives her hand, they get up and whatever.
Great.
Because we jumped ahead here, but yeah, eventually that happens with Hawkeye. He realizes the jig's up, but then Gamora and Nebula show up. They have a confrontation with old Nebula. She's like, "This is all. I mean,
don't have
you're
to be
talking to
this."
me. You're talking
Yeah.
to me. You know." And then she still tries to make a move. Nebula kills Nebula. Yay!
Yay.
While all that was happening, Thanos had gotten out of his ship, landed, and he told the Nebula of his time, or bad Nebula, to go get him the thing, and he's going to wait right there. While he was waiting, we get Thor, Iron Man, and Cap up, unified up there to look over and be like, "What's happening?" He's just sitting there. He's like, "This is a trap. I don't fucking
give a
care.
fuck.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck."
As long as
I
we're
want a
all on the
piece of this
same page.
motherfucker.
Thor calls in both of his weapons, goes all electricity, braids his beard.
Awesome.
So good.
Yeah, and so they go down there
Still
to fuck
fat,
him
too.
up, and they start fucking him up and fighting, but nobody's actually getting fucked up.
Such cool teamwork where
Right.
we see Tony get charged up by Thor.
Yeah, he's like, let's do it.
He has
Yeah,
that, like,
blast
back
Call
thing,
back from the
that's really
first
cool.
one.
Yeah,
finally.
really good stuff. Everything that happens here is amazing. The movie's been great overall, but I think here's where it's like,
It's the payoff.
here's the nonstop fucking. This is you're slack jawed watching this, going,
Yeah.
this is fucking awesome. So they all fight in there. Yeah, Hawkeye's running around inside. We're not there yet, but we're just gonna throw it in there that Ant-Man goes Giant Man, gets everybody out, but we'll get there in a second. But it's just the three of them fighting for a while, right?
And they get their asses handed to
Yeah,
them.
they're all getting their fucking shit kicked in. Thor gets knocked down or out, or at least for a little bit.
Right.
Iron Man gets knocked down and out, and and Friday's like, "Wake up, boss, wake up!"
Yeah, Thor looks over and sees Milner, but it's out of reach.
Right, yeah.
And then you see it.
you see it lift up and shoot
No,
back.
but first thing he goes like this. And you're like, who's gonna fucking get it? Who's gonna get it? Then it shoots back and we follow the fucking thing
Cap
right into Captain
grabs it,
America's
and
hand.
then boom,
No,
back
I
in
mean
the
that wasn't even a thought to me. Who was gonna get it wasn't a thought. It was like,
I
oh,
had
he's
no-
calling Mjolnir.
I didn't know.
I was like, oh shit, a Vision might be back.
I didn't know who was gonna get it.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But
minute
what it
in
that
happens,
moment.
what a perfect line delivery from Chris Hemsworth. Goes from terror of like, I'm losing this to, I knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew he could do it.
Dude, Stormbreaker getting pushed into his chest.
brutal.
Brutal.
Yeah.
God.
Really
Yeah,
scary.
the only thing, and this is not, I don't care because it actually helped talking to people about it, but I would have never thought it was going to Cap, except for I had seen on the Marvel Studios subreddit in the week leading up to Endgame, somebody clipped out that Joss Whedon thing. I assume you've seen it, right? Where he was doing a panel and somebody got up at the mic and was just like, why isn't Steve Rogers worthy? And the crowd popped for it. And Joss was just like, is he not? Does Steve Rogers need to lift the hammer and show people that he can lift the hammer? Or is he so, and it was like, when they said that, I was like, that's fucking
He wouldn't have
brilliant.
picked it up. He didn't want Thor to think.
when he grabbed it and it wiggled, he was like, oh, I can do it. Cool. I don't need to prove this to anybody.
I don't need Thor to
and so,
feel
like,
like bad about
and don't
this.
get me wrong, it's fucking incredible in this movie. And he gets in,
God
shifts with the
damn.
shield, and you're just like, oh my god,
What a great moment.
The cheers, the emotions running through my body.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's like for me, this is the moment of the movie.
Absolutely.
I would say it's number 2 compared to the obvious one. But I mean, yeah,
What's the obvious one?
Avengers
On your left.
Assemble.
Avengers Assemble.
yeah.
Avengers Assemble was my open mouth crying moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I loved it, but again, I thought personally it was number 2, number 1,
Yeah.
and obviously.
They're very close, but like the Avengers Assemble, which we'll get to in a second.
Well, let's just get there right now, and you can get to it, all right? Because
Well,
they
no, we
fight
got-
for a while.
Let's
Yeah.
keep talking about how goddamn cool it is.
No,
that
but
he's
it
got
was-
this
but there's a great
fucking-
It
moment,
was
right?
so scary of like watching Cap being beat down
Lose.
and his shield is
Shield
half
breaks.
broken.
Snapped in half.
And this
And then
is
he just
where
lays there defeated on the ground for a
this is
second.
where my
As-
brain went to, or like
Pulling it together.
this is where he dies.
Yeah.
Like that, my brain immediately thought, all right, this is where we lose Cap. It's happening
And
right
it's-
here.
Especially since like they'd already started calling
You
him
start
the troops
seeing
and
everybody,
the
you
ships
see the
and
giant
things
fuckers
and all that stuff, and then
Wow.
Cap
That was my thing of when it was happening. Obviously, we know where this movie's going, but I was just like, even with the troops they have, how are they going to be able to fight this? Like, you know what I mean? How
Yeah.
big and crazy this is right now.
And
That's
that
what's
shot,
so
though,
fucking great.
when you get the wide shot, the one perfect shot
One
Yeah.
dude.
There's
of
2 of
Cap
them.
just standing there, even with Mjolnir, with everybody.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what the fuck is going on? And then you just hear on your
But not
left,
even
No,
there.
but
Not
before that.
the Cap, the buzzing in.
No. He gets
gets
up and he looks
tightens
and
the
it's
shield.
fucking
He's got this
him
huge
versus
gash.
1,000 people. Just
He's got
goes,
this huge gash in his arm
Let's
and
fucking
does it.
go.
Yeah, right.
We're gonna go
That
one
was
more
fucking
round.
awesome.
Let's
and
go.
then Cap and Cap
On your
it's
left.
Falcon. Yeah, on your left, and they open the portal, and out comes Falcon and a whole bunch of other guys, and then
God.
a million portals open up, and everybody comes pouring out. And
Ant-Man
Spider-Man comes
pulls
out, and they
up,
get the
saves
fucking
everyone.
thing. Ant-Man gets out his giant man. You're fucking and then of course
So then you
Avengers.
get the Avengers Assemble, and like I feel like they accomplished something that I couldn't even hope or dream of being as cool as it was. I think that it was 10 times better than I could have
agree.
imagined. The way that they did it, I love that the Avengers theme plays about 4 fucking times as it scrolls showing everyone popping in at the perfect time. You get all these cool moments. You see Hope pop back up. Howard the Duck's in the background.
No, really? I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
he is. Like it's in the Ravagers are all there.
Oh, fuck, I
in
missed
the,
all
in the
that.
scene where Hope pops up. He's in the background.
Interesting.
Someone said that. I'm like, I don't believe you. And yesterday I looked. I'm like, 100%.
We
It's
see
Howard the
Master
goddamn
Chief.
Duck.
We see Gundam. It's Ready Player
Raiden
One.
from Metal Gear Solid Rising.
All the Guardians
Or
are
Metal
back
Gear
too.
Rising.
So Peter Quill comes with what's his butt?
Batista.
Barista.
Yeah. And
Yeah, they're all there. They're all back.
fucking
Yeah,
they're all
Gamora's
there.
not there, though.
But it's
Of
also
course,
then you
yeah.
get all of the fucking Doctor Strange magicians and shit. You
Yeah.
also get the Valkyrie, like whatever.
All of Wakanda.
The
All of
Valkyrie,
Wakanda.
Valkyrie
Where
on,
is she
on the
hiding the
fucking
horse?
Pegasus is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
He was on
Awesome.
the ship.
Huh?
He was on the ship.
She was in the.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I thought it was extremely cool. She
I
came on
thought
the
it was
fucking
awesome.
Pegasus, but I was also like, where's that?
Yeah, the
horse
Avengers
from?
Assemble moment. I love the
So
delivery.
great. So
I love the
amazing.
Avengers.
Because the Avengers is loud.
Then the fucking Mjolnir, you hear the whoop, assemble.
Yeah.
They all fucking run, and then it's just 20 minutes
Pandemonium.
Awesome fight.
Fucking awesome.
I mean, for me, it's not a fight moment, but the standout is Spider-Man getting reunited with Iron Man, right? Because it's just such a great Tom Holland moment and a Peter moment of just like, hey, you're never gonna believe what happened.
It's super
I was
good.
busted.
Super good way to deliver the plot of what happened.
Yeah.
Like,
And we get
so
the
anyone
genuine
snaps-
hug.
Yeah,
Yeah.
genuine hug from Tony.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
was
this
good.
is nice.
This is nice.
yeah.
But it explains that anybody that got snapped, they just feel like they got knocked out for a second and then woke up exactly where they were.
Yeah, exactly.
And this, like,
Shit.
and all of this again, I'm fucking just bawling. And it's so hard to see all the action because the tears in my eyes.
Sure.
It's hard to see, like, what the fuck is happening right now.
Really
But
good.
I don't care. I'm just happy. Like,
It got me both times. Both times watching it, I was straight up crying.
Yeah.
For the
Like-
Avengers Assemble scene. I was like so overwhelmed
For
with
me,
emotion.
I didn't. I forget where. I think maybe at the end with Tony or whatever. I never balled, but I was on the verge of tears the
Yeah.
entire time. And when Spidey and Iron Man hug, I did the. Like I did like an
Yeah.
audible
Yeah.
inward take to see Robert Downey Jr. finally give it back the way he's been getting it from Peter this entire time, right?
good.
We can all jump around and do whatever you want in this segment, but like I loved Pepper and Tony back to
Oh my
back
God.
blasting
Yes.
shit. Like that was so
Yeah.
fucking cool.
Yeah.
so
Love that.
cool.
Her suit looks dope. I love basically the scene is what are we gonna do now? We don't have a machine. How the fuck do we get this thing?
Right,
how do we
right.
get these back to like where they needed to be?
And
someone's like,
Scott's like, there's still one time machine.
so then it becomes about get the football to the end zone, like and they're passing it. They're doing all that
so
stuff.
good.
And like,
when Black Panther runs up to Clint,
he's like, "Give it to me."
Yeah, exactly.
And then he's like, "Okay."
Yeah,
Gives it to him. Clint Black Panther starts running up a fucking wall,
cool.
flipping, passes it off to
I'm sorry, real quick. That's a callback right to
Civil War.
right where he was like, "I'm Clint.
Like, I'm Clint, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, "Oh, okay, fuck off."
Yeah.
yeah. He's running, passes it over to Spidey.
Pass it over Spidey. Spidey's like,
Instant
"I got it."
Fucking kill mode.
Instant kill mode.
Oh my god!
So
Finally,
good.
pay
I got
off.
this. I got this. I don't got this.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't got this.
And he goes to Queens and he throws he throws Mjolnir and he webs it and lets it zip line him out of there for a little bit.
Fucking awesome.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, he keeps getting his ass beat though, and he finally falls down and does the tumble with
And
it.
then I think at this point, do the guns on the ship stop firing at them and they go up into the sky?
Yeah.
yeah, they
Because at some point that happens, you're like,
because
what are they firing?
rain
at?
fire, right?
Another great moment I thought, we're jumping on as you should though.
Oh, right.
Scarlet Witch was like, "You took everything from me," and Thanos is like,
Fuck,
"I don't
yeah.
even know who you are. You will."
will.
And fucking
She, like, rips his
smashes him
armor
and then
off.
pulls
And
him out.
wins. She wins.
Yeah.
You know what I
He's
mean?
like,
Like she
yeah.
like destroys Thanos in a way that nobody else could do.
Yeah, and he's
I
like,
love
I
that.
forget what the protocol or whatever.
Oh,
he says.
rain fire.
rain
whatever the fuck
fire,
it is.
yeah.
And they're like, but
Hit.
sir, our troops, and just starts, I'm losing, motherfucker, I'm
Another
dying.
really cool, like little tiny character moment was when they get to the van and it's Hope and Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And they both like get normal sized, whatever.
Yeah.
They pop up and he says something to her and she goes, "Yeah, Cap told me to do this." And like gives her this little smile because like she gave him so much shit
Yeah,
for
yeah,
calling
yeah.
him Cap. I love that. That's great.
He's like, I got a hot wire that's not working. I like hot wire
Yeah,
rips
exactly.
some
They're
stuff
working on
out.
that shit, yeah.
And then the ship targets something off. Actually, after it rains fire and blows off Scarlet Witch, it stops and everyone looks up and the guns just aim at something off in the distance and start firing. And all for naught, it's Captain Marvel, and she comes and just
Busts
fucking
through
puts
it.
a hole
Through
through that
it,
thing.
yeah.
Her fucking theme
Just
song plays and it
dope.
is
Cool.
epic.
And then starts in on Thanos, right? Just starts whooping his ass and like the headbutt.
So good.
Where it's like, what the fuck? It just does like the Hulk Hogan like test of power thing.
Are we there yet?
No, we're not.
He
there.
has the gauntlet at that point. Yeah.
No,
So
she has to grab the gauntlet
Yeah.
first from Spider-Man.
Oh, that's right.
Thanos has the gauntlet when this happens.
She
'cause
grabs
this
it
is when
from-
he rips
Yeah,
away
yeah.
the stone.
Right. I think she grabs it from Spider-Man.
No, stop everybody.
yeah.
I'm trying to. Yes, I know. And so she blows up the ship and does all that shit, and then she runs over to Peter Parker,
Right.
destroyed, bleeding already, holding it, and and he's like, "Hi, I'm Peter," and she's like, "Hi, I'm Carol. You got something for me, Peter?"
Yeah.
And he gets,
So good.
and he's like, "I don't know how you get through all that," and it's a very on the nose moment,
Yeah,
but an
yeah.
awesome fucking moment
I
where
fucking love
she's
it,
not
dude.
alone, which is another throwback to obviously Infinity
Black
War.
Widow.
Yeah, right. Well, it was
In
still
Wakanda.
Exactly. And they all turn. It's just this like cavalcade of awesome
So
female
fucking cool,
superheroes that are like, fucking, we're going to go through and tear
I
shit
love it,
up.
man.
Just tip of the spear. She goes to throw the thing in, right? And somehow it gets
They
pulled.
blow up they blow
yeah,
up
Before
the
Thanos
link.
blows
he
up.
throws his like double-sided sword
That's
at
right.
the thing and it blows up.
Yeah.
And then
And so then it falls back between him and somebody else.
inevitable.
No, not yet, because it's that he gets it on. Thanos gets it on. Captain Marvel's there to do the test of strength thing.
Right.
He realizes he's losing. I think a brilliant Thanos move.
so
Right,
good.
reaches back, grabs the strength
Power
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 stone,
stone.
and then fucking punches
Just
her in the face and knock
clocks
her
her.
out. Right,
Lights
and then
out.
puts it back in. And this is when Iron Man and Doctor Strange exchange the look, and Strange comes up with the finger because they'd already had the conversation that if I tell you, it won't happen.
One.
And he just does. There's one, and Iron Man knows. Fuck, I've got to do this.
Yeah.
Shoots on over there, puts that thing in Thanos' hand so he can't close his hand.
Right.
Also does some magic. we
Magic
don't know.
trickery.
Yeah.
Well, you
And then-
figure he's got command of the
100%.
nanobots.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
he
Oh
can
no,
tell them to
I
let
know
go.
how he does it. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that.
It's still cool.
Gets thrown
But
back.
the thing is,
and
did he
Thanos-
put one of those things on? Because
Yeah.
on my first watching, I thought that he did.
Yeah.
And then watching it, I think that might have just been the color of the Stark Gauntlet. Because
I
how
think
would he
he
snap
just-
otherwise?
I think it's just his.
Yeah.
I thought he ripped it out.
No, I think he just held on to it long enough to get his hand around and grab the stones. I don't know.
Either way, it doesn't
matter. Yeah.
His
still
nanobots
stuck.
created like little things to bring him
Yeah.
back. Like,
You sterilized
Yeah.
him.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
cool.
Yeah.
But Thanos doesn't know this, of course, so he goes into his monologue of, y'all thought you could beat me, but guess what?
I'm inevitable.
I am inevitable.
What a line.
Such an empty snap. Nothing happens.
Nothing happens. Looks over.
Excuse me, this isn't Mission Impossible. Please sit on the fucking bench where you belong.
Take it away.
I am Iron Man. And he shows it and it's going in his
Yeah.
hand and the nanobots are putting it in where it needs to be. He gets juiced up or whatever and then snaps. And then it's the giant white flash, right? And we start to see all the bad guys disappear. There's the giant worm from Avengers coming down on Rocket that just turns to dust or whatever. You see it go person by person, fight by fight. It all happens. Thanos, you have that moment where I get back to his Infinity War monologue from the very beginning, right? Of I know what it's like to lose, right? Feeling your heart of hearts. And without any dialogue from from Josh Brolin, right? I think just the acting and how well they can animate Thanos. He does that thing where he looks around, he's like, I'm fucked. And just rather than do anything else, he just sits down, right, and lets it happen. And we hang on it. They do a great job of hanging on it. And it was like, I was watching his corners for so long. I'm like, is he going to go? And then he falls down, right?
Oh, good.
And it's fucking amazing. But then we cut back over, to Tony Stark there, all fried up like Hulk was, slowly losing everything. You know what I mean? Like his sense of everything, just totally
so perfectly handled.
Out of it. And exactly, it's like it's his deathbed, and they have all the people who are important to him show up, right?
But I love that it wasn't Tony. I love that it's like the Tony Cap moments we had earlier in the movie. This was War Machine and Pepper.
You love that it wasn't
Tony.
Cap.
Yes.
Yeah, so War Machine shows up, right, and he's there to say goodbye. And then Spider-Man rolls in, and we get the reverse of Infinity War, right? I'm sorry, I'm choking up right now.
Like as if
That's
you're not
the scene
crying
for me, right?
enough. Let's make you cry more.
Yeah, right. To see again Peter Parker, like the kid in all of this, right, who looks up to Iron Man so much and Tony Stark so much, be like, I'm sorry, you know what I mean?
Tony
I'm sorry,
can't even
Mr.
talk.
Stark.
Doesn't say a single word.
And
they
then Pep
have their
shows up.
moment, and then Pepper just puts her hand on his.
Yeah, like it's time, step back.
You
and then-
can rest now.
Yeah.
Oh my
She sits down,
God.
right? And that's the only time Tony does talk, right? Where he's like, hey, Pep. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
he comes back to lucidity just for that long enough because it's Pepper, the most important person in his life. Yeah. And she's like, you've done it. Well, you can rest now.
We'll be okay.
You can rest now.
We'll be
And then
okay.
he drifts off, right? Yeah. And then we get the shot of all the Avengers around there crying and doing their thing. Captain America got the one tear and all that shit.
Man.
We skipped over.
Do you think Carol could have survived it? Because I asked
Maybe.
earlier.
Yeah, totally.
I asked earlier, but I guess I don't know.
I think she could have. Yeah,
Because
totally.
earlier, I think a couple days ago, I asked, could Peter Quill have survived it? But then you all reminded me that his
he had all
godness
of
was
them.
taken away.
Yeah.
But
I think she could have, since she's got the blue blood and she's all like Infinity Stone powered now, right?
But then, so Scarlet Witch could probably also survive it.
I
Potentially.
mean, these are all
Imagine.
arguable
Yeah,
things,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
They
But
will
then
never
this
be
was
able
like
to.
the one thing that we needed.
Would have been
like-
really cool if he was like strong enough to wield this. All right, now I can snap as many goddamn times as I want, But it's a movie, and like,
There's certain things it couldn't
Yeah.
do, though, and that's why they built up with, like, you can't bring Natasha back.
yeah.
So
I want to say we missed a great
tried,
moment
yeah.
where
you going Peter Quill? Yeah, that's
Peter
what I was
Quill's
gonna jump
fighting,
back
and he gets knocked out, and then goes
God.
to kiss Gamora, and she knees him, and then knees him again, and he's like, the first one missed, the second one got both of them.
And then,
just-
Nebula walks up and she's like, "Really, this? Your choices were this or a tree?
A tree?
or this?
He deserved that kick in the nuts.
He
So
deserved
good.
it.
Yeah, he
Why?
deserved it. It was all his fault of them losing Infinity
Oh
War.
yeah, sure.
Wow,
That's true. He was
Barrett.
a dumb fuck.
But like,
I feel bad for
you've
Alyssa.
never lost anyone.
Exactly,
that you
never
loved.
been in love, huh? Heartbreaker. You know what I mean? Heartbreaker.
Devastating.
And somebody, I remember when that got so much shit and people calling it out on social media and Reddit, just like, remember this is also the guy who found out when his dad put a tumor in his mom, shot him immediately. I was like, he's a hothead. I guess this is on point with the character.
I was watching a video and it was like, yeah, remember he was kidnapped when he was like 10 and then lived with
He's
crazy
never-
pirates.
yeah, he's
like,
never-
he didn't grow up.
aged out.
He's not balanced.
That was my. I know when they started going back in time, and I wasn't paying attention to any of it, obviously, in terms of the real thing. I was like, man, I hope we get a Yondu scene. I don't know how you would do it, but I'd love to see Yondu for a hot
Well, I
second.
would have been happy with Kraglin even. Like Kraglin was in the movie; he's credited in this, but I didn't see him anywhere. But
Which one's Kraglin?
Kraglin
brother.
is
Sean Gunn.
Sean
Oh,
Gunn.
okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Sean. Well, he also does motion capture for Rocket.
For Rocket,
right?
yeah. But in the movie, he's credited as Rocket and Kraglin.
Oh, okay. I think he's in the fight scene then, right?
I
Because
mean, he would be.
I think so.
There's today on, if you're watching live, and if not, maybe you can probably find it. I guess, yeah. I saw it on the subreddit today, but I also think it's on Chris Pratt's Instagram, him doing a video of the pan around of them all on the set, and they're all going through if they're all in street clothes or whatever.
This is super illegal.
Yeah, he turns to Kraglin and Kraglin, or Sean Gunn, right, and just goes, he's gone through every one of the other Avengers and turns to him and he's like, I think I'm the most famous person on this set. And then, Pratt turns it on. He's like, this video is super illegal.
It's awesome.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
But I feel like it would have been cool to have that moment there of the arrow of Kraglin in the final battle using the arrow.
That would have been really
Yeah,
cool.
that would've
But
been
I wouldn't
great.
put it past him that if when the DVD or the Blu-ray's out and we can rewind, that there is in the background.
There is something happening.
Yeah,
That'd
totally.
be crazy.
We also got the when Cap calls Mjolnir
Oh,
and
yeah.
gets Stormbreaker and
Oh, yeah.
Thor gets
You take the small one.
Yeah.
Here, tosses it. You take the small one.
That's the funeral, right?
So then we jump over back to Tony's lake house where we're gonna have a funeral for him, and it's
Viking funeral.
Pepper walking down with the kid. They put the little wreath in the water there, and it's got the original Iron Man 1 thing, right? Proof Tony
Yeah.
Stark has a heart.
Jesus
They
Christ.
send it out there, and then we get the back, and we pan through. I think obviously it's incredibly well done, but it's such a great, analogy for the MCU of like, here's the start with Pepper and Tony at the front and their kid, obviously, but then we pan back through all the different films and all the different, and they're all sectioned off together.
As you hear his
So good.
recorded vision, and he's saying like, Like, man, like what a world. Oh, universe now.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
like, oh my
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
And like they're talking, he's like the past 10 years, whatever. It's like, it's such a meta. Like you are
Yeah,
breaking the fourth wall here in the best way.
Yeah.
And it's totally Paul Walker dying. Like it's kind of like
Yeah.
that thing where they're like,
Sure.
we know what this is, but we're kind of like putting into the story, but not really. You know?
Yeah.
Pull back through everybody, which is really cool. The one kid who threw me Iron Man 3 kid. Where
Harley, baby.
when we got before Colby Smulders, I was like, who's that kid? Who's this guy? Is he new? I don't know what he is.
It's
So
odd that
you
they
guys
put
have-
him in there. I was like, I don't
I
think
like
they
it.
would
I
have
do.
a
And
continued
once it happened,
relationship with Tony.
it totally. I was like, oh shit! I do remember that when casting leaked 3 years ago, he was on that call sheet, but I don't remember what it was.
Crazy.
Then we go back up the stairs. Captain Marvel's standing by herself. Then Nick Fury walks in on the other side. Everything's
Oh
been
my
set
God.
back to how it should be, right?
And then
How much do you
fucking-
think he got paid?
Then we get the
Happy.
scene
Iron Man 3
with
kid.
Happy and the kid.
Not much.
Oh, I can't say.
guarantee
what do you want to eat?
wanted be
Cheeseburgers,
there.
right?
Oh.
Yeah, your dad loved cheeseburgers too. Like that is such another.
That's where I broke. I was like, oh fuck, I gotta hide my eyes. Like this is.
Oh, dude.
I kept it together all the way to that
Masterful.
point. I was like, what a fucking good thing. This like what a great line.
Yeah.
Great callback.
Dad
Yeah.
like cheeseburgers.
Yeah,
We'll get you a
exactly.
cheeseburger.
Exactly. I'm gonna get all the cheeseburgers you want. Yeah, and then of course, as you said, we'd been listening to the recording, watching the recording the whole way through. Then yeah, we
I
jump
love you
back.
3000.
Yeah,
They had to
yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
had to do
God
it.
damn
It's so good. It's so
So
damn good.
good.
Jump
So
back
good.
to the time portal or whatever here, right? Where it's like, all right, cool. We're at the blown up Avengers base. It's time to set this right. Cap, you've got to go back and send back all the Infinity Stones, as we've already talked about. Go do them at the time they left. Take Thor's hammer back. Do all these different things to fix them. You can jump around apparently with the thing. Greg didn't understand that, but now we do. How long is this going to take? As long as he needs 5 seconds for us. They send him back. 5 seconds comes back. He does not come back. Hulk's flipping switches, looking around, and finally Bucky just looks off and is like, fuck, I just blinked. Sam, look. And then they both look there. And I remember in the theater, and then Hulk looks, and I'm like, you motherfucker, show us. Like I was really afraid they were gonna end on a cliffhanger. You know what I mean? They don't. It's Cap from the back. I thought it was
Young Cap.
I thought it was young skinny Cap, and I was like, did he go back in time and not take the? I don't understand how any of this works. What's going on? We walk over there, and Bucky gives Sam the nod to actually go ahead because he just has a telekinetic, whatever connection,
knows.
whatever.
But
I
he
think
also
he
he had his good. Like Bucky knew, like before Steve went back, he knew like. You're staying there.
Yeah.
Like I know like this is our goodbye, and so
Him saying I'm
nodding
gonna
to-
miss you is like kind
Yeah,
of
that
the key
was
thing.
that was the tell all. So like him
interesting.
him
Smart.
going to Sam and being like
This is your
you
chance.
have your goodbye with him.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah, because I know when that happened, I was reading a lot of Reddit comments, and some people were like, "Yeah, it just really sucks that Bucky didn't have that final conversation with Cap." And then you just. But when I saw Bucky tell him, I'm gonna miss you, that's what kind of because we
it in
see
your
Cap
head.
in the final scene, and immediately my thought is, oh wow, they didn't do away with him.
Yep.
And I thought there was still a glimmer of hope that like even if he doesn't come out in any movies from here on out, there's still a chance of hope that he might be one of like the way the WWE does it with old wrestlers,
Yeah.
where like they're not wrestling anymore, but they might make a cameo every once in a while, and pop in here and there. I thought Cap was gonna have that treatment for the future of the MCU.
Yeah.
And like selfishly, I'm just so sad that they are doing away with him. Like it really broke my heart.
So yeah, Sam sits down. It's old Cap. Cap's got a wedding band. I'll get to that in a second. So what happened? I went back. Tony. Yeah, I decided to get some of that life Tony's always talking about. How was it? It was beautiful. The only thing Sam's like the only thing I'm bummed out about is I live in a world without a Captain America. And Steve's like, well, about that, and brings out the shield, hands it to him. How's it feel? Well, no, it feels like I don't deserve it or something to that effect. Right? I
Someone
haven't earned
else's.
it.
If someone else is
And he's like, well, that's why
It's
it's
not.
yours. That's why
Yeah.
it's not. It's yours. And so then there's a great moment. Then he catches the ring on his finger. He's like, you want to tell me about that? And he
like,
takes a second. He's like, no, no, I know.
It's for me.
And that's when we get the flashback to the house in what you assume is the 50s or whatever.
would
The
assume so,
slow
yeah.
pan in, the door open, unlocked, of course, because this is a simpler time. And then to the window where he's dancing with Peggy Carter.
Same
right?
song from Winter Soldier.
Yep, exactly. And then we cut away.
Cut
Directed
away.
by
Beautiful goddamn
Joe and
end.
Anthony Russo.
It's a beautiful credits, man.
Yeah,
I
we go
love
through all the
going
normal
ahead.
credits, and then for the original 7, right, it's them with their signatures.
It's the Star Trek 6 treatment.
Yeah, the
Yep, I love
signatures,
it.
their names, and outline or whatever. Thought
And
that
then
was
with
awesome.
Tony.
And then, yeah, we end, and it's just the clang, clang.
So good.
Yeah,
I
what a
love
movie.
It. Movie's so great at being a nice end cap, and this could have been the last one. But I love that there's just enough things, there are just enough questions left open that I think are satisfying questions to build the future. But yeah, what
Like,
a great end for Tony,
yeah, like-
great end for Cap.
like Thor being with the Guardians, which I think we passed over a little bit as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, you're right.
Search
Sorry.
for
Yeah,
Gamora.
that's
Cool.
it.
Fuck yeah.
He puts Valkyrie in now as the king, right? And then he's gonna go off and be the Asgardians of the Galaxy. I so hope it's called Asgardians of the Galaxy Volume
Oh
1.
my god.
That would be so good.
I hope they fucking do
the
it.
fucking part where he's like, no, it's you.
No, they all know it. It's you. It's you. Yeah. So good. Yeah.
Oh god, it's so good.
Man,
The fact that we're gonna get a whole movie of that makes me very happy.
I know it's gonna be fun.
In the search for Gamora, you assume, right? Because that's what Peter Quill was looking at
Yeah.
before they
yeah,
came in.
a couple little haikus and reviews for you.
7 syllables in the middle. You'll need 5 for the first and last line. If you're not poetic, no need to fret it. Haikus don't need to rhyme. Haiku in review. Ah, you're right there. Haiku in review. Everybody.
Full stop.
Jeremy Z writes in, fixed the Thanos snap. Say bye to Tony and Kat. Endgame. Holy crap.
I like that. It's really
Yeah.
good. Wait, Endgame, holy crap. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
5. Good.
Matt
Follow
Rohrbeck
rules.
says, killed Thanos. Oh, what? 5 years later. What the fuck? We got core. Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah, Matt Rohrbeck.
I'm so happy that they came back. Ooh, a little popping around here.
I wonder how involved Taika and James Gunn were. Because, like, that's the one thing. I went to go pee during the sort of signature sequence. As soon as the movie ended, I was like, all right, I'm out. I got to go. But I did see, like, produced by James Gunn. And I wonder, like, how much.
How much? Yeah. Sam Osher says, rest in peace, Tony. Fat Thor and Smart Hulk are great. So happy for Cap. BJ Bernardo says, sad Thor gets the head. That's America's tight ass. All the cheeseburgers. Adding tight makes it like
Extra special.
He needed the syllables.
BJ Bernardo also says, Thor went for the head on your left. What a callback. I am Iron Man.
Oh, so good.
And finally, KC Flamingo says, Natasha is dead. Tony Stark is Iron Man. Steve is really old.
Wow, the Avengers are really done, huh?
Yeah, man. So nuts. All right, now it is time for Ragu Bagu, I guess.
The host is in here.
Yeah.
Was he gone?
What's up, everybody? My name is Andy Cortez, one half of the Rad Guys Talking Bad Guys. Our other host, Greg Miller, is currently
I was in it
peeing
too,
right
remember?
now. No, it was just
No, I was in it.
right. But for the final one,
I'm pretty sure
back to the just a
It's
two.
time
It's a
travel.
callback.
It's
to
time
refer
travel
to the
back to the
earlier.
Well, that's not
beginning.
even what you called the show back then.
They're going back
callback.
to make it better, so I'm in it now.
It's a callback to episode 3 because in episode 1 and 2, I believe it was chilling with the villains.
Yeah,
and that's still
Chillin'
you
with-
all show. But this is Ragu Bagu Vids. You can follow us
I
on
think
at
this was number
Ragu
one,
Bagu Vids on Twitter. And
Do we
right
still
now
have the Patreon tier?
Right now, there's no more
No,
Patreon tier.
that's gone.
But right now, I was supposed to get a tweet from one of the guys that actually accidentally paid for an extra tweet, and he was like, "Hey,
We'll
I
do it
want
next week
He was
on
like, "I
that.
want to put out a tweet during Endgame weekend or whatever." So
You should probably
get
hit
back
him
to me.
up,
Yeah,
huh? Seems
he
a
told me a
little
couple
late.
weeks ago that he would email me, but I don't know.
Where's the email, dude?
What's the list, Greg?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast within the podcast. Ragu Bagu Vids. Sorry, I had to pee. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside. I forget, Kevin's on this one or not?
Yeah, I'm on this one.
No,
I'm
but
on
I
this
said,
one.
Greg, I
No,
made,
no, no,
I
I'm
made
on
a
this
rule that,
one.
like, as a callback to older episodes, it's back to you and me.
That's
like,
what I
just,
like to
you know
hear.
what I'm saying?
The
Yeah.
Hispanic heartthrob Andy Cortez
What's
and a
up,
bunch of
guys?
other chuckleheads no one cares about, where we rank all the MCU villains, including people from Star Trek and shit. I don't remember anymore.
From
Please don't go through it all.
Here we go! Starting at number 32, these fucks from Thor 2. Number 31, these ducks from Wolverine. Number 30, Abomination. Number 29, Apocalypse, duh. Number 28, Doesn't Matter, Deadpool 2. Number 27, Ronin, Guardians. Number 26, Cross, Ant-Man. Number 25, that lady from Ghost. 24, Magneto / Phoenix X3. Number 23, Loki, Thor. Number 22, Obadiah Stane. Tony! 21, Mandarin / Aldrich. Number 20, The Vision from Solo. Number 19, Mass / Dormammu. Number 18, Magneto Brotherhood. Number 17, The Dink Sentinels. Number 16, Rockwell / Mickey. Number 15, Red Skull. Number 14, Francis Angel Deadpool. Number 13, Kree / Jude Ladd. Number 12, Ultron. Number 11, Hydra, Captain America, Winter Soldier. Number 10, Stryker. Number 9, Pierce, Logan, X-24. Number 8, Baconator, First Class. Number 7, Ego, Guardians 2. Number 6, Hell/Grandmaster, Thor Rag. Number 5, Loki, Avengers. Number 4, Bacon Guy, Civil War. Not to be confused with number 8, Baconator, First Class. Number 3, MBJ, Black Panther. Number 2, The Vulture. Number 1, Thanos, Avengers Infinity War.
I'd say this one goes number 2 underneath Thanos from Infinity War.
So you want Thanos from Infinity War, Thanos from Endgame.
Endgame, correct. Yeah,
Was he that good in this one?
I thought, wait, what?
Was he that good in this one?
Are you kidding?
I mean, I just feel like
you're
he's an
saying
afterthought
put
in
him
this
lower.
one.
Yeah,
he's
you
an
know what?
afterthought in this one.
You know
I
what?
mean,
Put
the
him-
Vulture was so good.
Put him below
MBJ was
Vulture.
so good.
Put him below Michael B. Jordan.
No. Put him above
I agree.
Michael B. Jordan.
I wish you were on the show, but you're not, fan.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the current and final standings until
re-rate it, for
Far
God's
From
sakes.
Home. Number 1, Thanos, Infinity War. And I won't do the whole thing. Number 2, The Vulture, Spider-Man. Number 3, Michael B. Jordan, Black Panther. Number 4, Thanos, Endgame. I want to be your Endgame.
I would say maybe even below
It's too late.
Bacon
We said
Guy.
it. We're done. The show's
Now
done.
it's time to rank the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The current
Oh,
standings.
you want to go below Bacon Guy?
Yeah.
Oh, fine.
Number
That's
1,
it. Done.
Avengers Infinity War. Number 2, Spider-Man Homecoming. Number 3, Captain America, Civil War.
No.
Number 4, Thor Ragnarok. Number 5, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Number 6, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Number 7, Avengers. Number 8, Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 9, Iron Man. Number 10, Black Panther. Number 11, Doctor Strange. Number 12, Captain Marvel. Number 13, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Number 14, Ant-Man. Number 15, Iron Man 2. Number 16, Avengers Age of Ultron. Number 17, Captain America, the First Avenger. Number 18, Iron Man 3. Number 19, The Incredible Hulk. Number 20, Thor. Number 21, Thor, the Dark World. God damn, there's a lot of movies.
Yeah.
What a
lot.
world we live
Yeah.
in. That we
So
just
many
had
good and great
had this
ones.
event. Does anybody feel super strongly to put it anywhere?
Well, I think this should be number 1.
Yeah, I also would put it directly at number 1.
I agree.
Yeah. Originally watching
Fuck
it
you,
the
Miller.
first time, I was like, "Fuck, this movie's gonna suck to rewatch because it's just so much." But then I rewatched and I was like, "I was fucking wrong. This movie goes by faster and it just gets better." So
I think the sheer amount of times that I almost cried in the first, I don't know, 30 minutes of this movie makes this an easy number 1 pick for me. It's got all the heart. It's got it literally
comedy
is the
too,
culmination
yeah.
of 21 films. You can't fucking beat this. Now, we walked out of the theater, I know, and you and I had a little bit of like a quick back and forth on maybe this is not as good as Infinity War. But just thinking about it, Infinity War, much more action-packed movie, much tighter movie altogether.
yeah,
But I just feel like, dude, there's just so many great moments in this that blow every moment in Infinity War out of the water. The fucking Captain America with Mjolnir.
oh my god,
And just come on.
good.
And again,
Hail
you don't-
Hydra, and like
Yeah.
that's just a throwaway thing that happens. Too.
This is a lot of people are saying this is a victory lap. I don't think this is necessarily I wouldn't use that term, but I would say that this is just such a fucking gift and fond, like a farewell to the audience and to the cast of saying like this era is over. And we want to thank you guys. We're giving you all the fucking moments you want and more. And it's going to be heartbreaking and gut wrenching and beautiful and all these things. I can't see it not putting this at number 1.
I feel like this is what happens when you show restraint with certain moments that people want for so long. Like the Avengers Assemble moment could have happened in 2012 and it didn't. And so when it happens here, I think it really means a lot more. I love that they pared it down to the original 6 for the most part, really giving them so many moments that like I didn't even know I wanted. And that to me is always like the best thing is like when they surprise me, the Hail Hydra moment. Oh my God. You could not have seen that
Very
coming. And
much,
it feels
yeah.
so great. I love how much they reference pretty much every single movie in some way or another. They balance all the different characters.
I mean, it was
You believe
literally,
in
it was almost a retrospective.
Yeah.
It was literally, let's go through the greatest hits of this entire MCU.
while still being its own thing.
and
I
still
think
be its own
that's-
thing.
That's
It's
the best
so
part.
beautiful.
And it's weird where it's like I can see arguments for it being anywhere in the top 5, honestly. But for me, I've never seen a movie accomplish summing everything up. I've never seen something end this well because ends are always hard, right? Infinity War had the snap. And that's a moment that I don't think this movie has that level of like, oh no. But that's fine because it was the opposite and it gave us the oh yes. And
I mean, yeah, how many times have you heard the second movie is always best in a trilogy because it's where all the great, like the heartbreaking stuff happens? You never hear, wow, they really fucking ended that trilogy
Absolutely.
very, very well.
Yeah. And for
And
me,
I think this
it's
does it
number
better
one.
than anyone's ever done it before.
Andy,
Like,
what are
it's
your thoughts?
unbelievable.
I just don't know if this has like that level of rewatchability, like Kevin was saying.
You gotta go rewatch
I need
it.
to go check it out again. I know that on a whim, I'd watch like Ragnarok or Civil War before this again, I think. But I still.
But that's because those are more fun and less impactful.
Yeah, the Guardians 2 as well. I still
mean
agree
less.
with Tim where like them accomplishing this is like such a difficult thing to do. And I know we shouldn't grade it on good job, you did something really hard and did it really well. But going into this,
exactly
I
how
thought,
we
man,
should
there's
be.
so many ways that this ending can be bad.
Yeah.
There's so many ways that like how can they possibly end this well? And I walked out so supremely fucking satisfied.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, we spent an hour and 20 minutes talking about what we thought was going to be one of the best parts of Game of Thrones, and we pretty much unanimously walked away from that episode very disappointed. So it's very possible to take setup of how many years, 7 years, and fumble the fucking rock. And they did not do that here. They knocked it out of the fucking park instead.
There was such gratuitous fan service, but I
In the
just
best
didn't have a
way.
problem
It
with
was
it. Yeah.
deserved
I just didn't have a problem
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like, I mentioned this, and I'm sorry to repeat myself for everyone that watched the review and screencast, but to me, to use the sports analogy again, this is like watching your team go 16-0 with 16 of the hardest fucking games you've ever seen them win, and then win the Super Bowl by 1 fucking point. Like, just have the best game ever, and then just that one little point. Like, this is everything you'd want that season to be. That's what we got here over the last 10 years. That's why I think this has to be number one.
I just got chills. Are you saying that? I love it, man.
And you don't even like sports.
Yeah, Greg.
Number 22.
Number 20. Thor: The Dark
monster. I want
World.
you to hoop this Diet Coke.
Watching this movie made you appreciate Dark World in a different light.
I didn't realize all everything you're building.
Crazy.
What are you
Yeah.
informed about?
So good.
I didn't
No,
know it was Rene Russo the whole time.
You started it with like, does anybody have strong opinions, right? Like, I don't. I totally see the argument for being number one. I've seen it twice. I still am hung up on. I think I liked Infinity War more, but I don't have such a strong opinion that I would stand in the way. It's back to what we always argue with this, right? Of like, right, we're ranking the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? So are we talking about them as individual films, what they do, blah, blah, blah. Fan service, the tremendous, like that was me throughout this entire fucking flick watching it, was just like, I can't believe that I'm seeing this on the screen right now. I can't believe that this is a comic book come to life. Does that mean that I think maybe Spider-Man's more fun to watch and I'd rather watch that over and over again? Yeah, but sure, whatever. Do I think that's a better movie that's standalone for someone to jump into? Sure, of course. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about ranking the entire universe. We're implying you watch the entire universe.
Absolutely.
I think it's inarguable if that's what we're using as criteria that this is number one
This is the
because
most
this is the payoff.
MCU.
You know what I mean? Like you want, and like the journey the show's been on, us in review, right? Of like when we started this and me being like, ugh, Captain America's never done it for me, and I'm such a ride or die Captain America fanboy now because seeing
So
it
cool.
all in section, right, and getting all the nods to each other and all the things, and seeing the character development that I said wasn't there, but watching it go, like, right, like for me, like, you know, Nick talked about it and we all mentioned it, but like when he stands back up with the fucked up shield and the gash in his fucking arm that looks brutal, he goes, Kush. Like you understand who that man is and what you've seen this entire time. And like even right now, I have this conversation about it where you guys are like, well, Bucky already said goodbye. And I'm like, I never fucking thought of that. Like you're
Layers,
right,
dude.
Bucky knows him so well that he knows he's not coming back. Because again, back to my point that I've said in the other ones, right? I'd love to see Captain America has no life. He doesn't socialize. He's so hung up on this shit. Well, yeah, of course. Then you all know he's not coming back. They've set that up in all these movies. Like,
Yeah.
no, this is a masterclass in a universe
But
that we haven't seen.
Also, this didn't have Batista trying to be invisible.
No,
It's great,
Which
but it-
gives me a lot of points.
no,
for
but it
Infinity
did
War.
have the part where he's like, you should settle this by combat. You should either do
I have
this or
some guns
knives.
you guys can use.
Or
Or
knives.
do you prefer knives? Oh yes,
Yes,
knives.
knives.
I love the rocket line of just like, yeah, Quill and Drax and the chick with the antenna.
I lost people too.
Can't remember her
so,
fucking name.
so damn good. But in terms of rewatchability, I feel like when not movies, but just scenes. I've watched the Thor Bridge Ragnarok scene 20,000 times on YouTube. The Avengers 2012, the one shot and the circle shot, right? Going through, there's a ton of them. Infinity War, the Stormbreaker moment of Thor coming back and all that. This
Iron Man
movie,
3 PTSD syndrome.
Let's skip that one. But this movie to me has a scene that's 45 minutes that I'm going to go back and rewatch. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
from
yeah.
Avengers Assemble through, I don't even know. I wonder how long
This movie's 3
that
movies in one.
actually, it is. It really feels
It's a
that
really
way.
hardcore like look at what the characters are struggling with. Then it becomes a time heist, and then it becomes 45 minutes of every scene you ever fucking wanted in the last 10 years.
Yeah, so-
It's great.
All right, Bear,
It's
do you have any
unbelievable.
thoughts? Just for funsies?
Yeah, I've been up and down on it. Like, the more you guys talk about it, I'm like, I think I'll put it higher. Because I think when I first came out of it, I was like, man, there was some stuff here that was just so weird to take in, right? And Greg made like the great point of this is legit the most comic book turn to movie that we have seen yet. Of seeing Professor Hulk, where the first time I saw that I was like, I don't know if I like this, and like seeing Fat Thor, and like there's all these things I had to process.
Fat Thor, they did it.
I know,
Thor's
and so like I've seen it a second time, and I'm seeing it a third time on Thursday, and so it's like the more I think about it, the more I see it, the more I get emotional, and like because there's so many. Captain America is my favorite character in this entire universe, and the amount of payoff that we get for his story with how little we got in Infinity War, like this movie keeps going up and up my list. So yeah, I fucking love it.
It's time to vote for it. Who thinks it's better than number 3, Captain America: Civil War? Raise your hand. Everyone raise their hand. Who thinks it's better than Spider-Man: Homecoming? Raise your hand. We all raise our hand. Who thinks it's better than Avengers: Infinity War? Raise your hand. Everyone except Andy raises their hand.
Wrong side of history, Andy.
The new number 1 is Avengers Endgame.
It's a
Number
shitty
2
movie, dude.
is Infinity War. 3 is Homecoming. And you guys can look at the rest. You know. It's been said a million times. Next week, we're going to be doing our personal lists of the MCU, updating them. We'll have more just a retrospective talk about MCU. I'm sure we'll do some predictions and stuff like that.
I really want to do this phone quiz that a best friend put on the subreddit.
Yeah,
where
I did it too.
It gives you 2 movies and it says which movie would you rather watch right now from the MCU.
Nice.
So it's more of a what would you rather watch right now in this instant, and it pits together like it takes a while to do, but it pits together like every fucking movie against each other.
That's cool.
And at the end of it, shows you a result of what that ranking would be. And Ragnarok wins for me every time.
And that's just for watchability and all that stuff. But for the first time ever, I'm going to get you guys involved, where we're going to put a thing out for the best friends to be able to vote. It's not just Patreon; it's going to be for everybody. I want to get the best friends ranking list, and it works in the same voting fashion that we have, where it's kind of like you put your own
You
list
put your
out.
hands up at home. Tim comes down and pulls you.
Exactly, exactly. But so that will be tweeted out on the Kind of Funny Vids account, and then we'll give the results next week. Until
Yeah.
next time.
Have a marvelous day.
Yeah.